There's this from 2017, my first year out there. My childhood friend that I grew up with down the street, an older brother that was, into the rave scene, into the music scene, into the counterculture scene when we were young, grown as adults.
When raves were raves.
Yeah. And, it happened to be camped next to the ghetto in Costco Trading Company of the Soul. And he was the camp lead and the camp organizer, and ran into him and just sat down as we're sitting in front of his camp talking shop, talking about life and where we've been, what we've gone through. And these 6 ladies in fucking debutante corsets and fancy hoop skirts come up and their whole powdered makeup and wigs as they were from the 1700s, and they're like, champagne for anyone interested. And I'm like, sure. He passed, and I'm like, sure, why the hell not? And they ripped up their hoop skirts with these giant fucking dildos and squirt bladders, and just looked at him, smiled, and he just took a face full of squirted champagne out of a dildo.
Oh shit. Oh no, that's literally my art project for this year. I used to work at a sex toy store, and one of the things that is in my collection of things that I have for my job is a penis extender. It's like my forearm. It's stupid big and hollow on the inside. So I'm gonna run a tube down it.
It's a great idea.
But I'm gonna do it as a satyr for Animalia. So I'm gonna have hairy shorts and a big hairy nutsack full of wine and a big dong
and a red scarf, and you look like you're from right out of Narnia.
Yeah.
The face he gave me when he just looked at me and was like, here's a person I've known since their childhood. Just openly going for it. And it was it was a great connection. I'm still friends with his brother, who's very much not of this culture.
Would 100% never drink champagne out of a dick. No matter what.
No. It's those are playa moments. You don't find those.
No.
ChatGPT can't fucking write that shit.
Welcome to Accuracy Third. I'm D-Day.
I'm Rex.
God damn it. Fuck. All right, I'm back.
We are introing the shit out of this episode, guys. I'm really proud of us.
Yeah, I'm really psyched. We've been out there a bunch this summer doing work out at Black Rock Station, helping take care of our camp bullshit before we get out there. And it's been the first time we've ever gotten to do that. So it's really exciting that our stuff isn't full of garbage.
Second time.
Well, the second time we didn't have enough people, and we didn't really get into the spaces.
Nor did we truly know what we were doing.
At all. So this is the first effective time. We helped a bit the first time.
This is an extension of that first time. We finally completed the task that we started last year.
Absolutely not.
We sure did.
We still need to do the green at the peak.
I am going to trim in the goddamn door when I get there.
Oh, yeah, the door's still
I have a door handle to bring out because there's no door handle.
There's no door knob. There's just a hole.
The task that we took on was to keep all that orange shit from just falling off it all the time.
Yeah.
It's called the Carrot House. That's why we're talking about why it's orange.
It's orange. It's painted orange. That orange flaked. It flaked a lot.
Actually, we talk about in this episode. This episode being live from the ranch.
Live.
Fuck yeah.
Recorded at the ranch.
Yeah, it was a great time. There were so many fascinating people there, most of whom I hadn't met before, and some of whom I know dearly.
That was a blast. So when you go out there, it isn't always the easiest to bring the NVO folks into a conversation unless you're Andy. It feels a little bit like prying, but we had a friend who was up for being interviewed and came out. And then suddenly all these folks are so up for telling us everything about what it's like for them. And they're all unshockingly very weird and cool.
Yeah, compelling insinuates a certain level of weird. Right?
It does in our milieu, given our context.
Dear listeners, if you ever get a chance to talk to someone from DPW or NVO, you know what they're not going to be? Boring. They're not going to be boring. If they will deign a conversation with you, you will find them to be very unique and particular people.
Unless you run into Sergeant Boring.
Yeah, there is a Sergeant Boring. That's the thing. They have the best names.
It's a bit.
Okay, so this little back and forth that we've been having is a good segue into something that I feel is our responsibility for the intro to this episode with us at the ranch. And that is that this is an episode edited down from over 2.5 hours of some real inside baseball between people who have, by and large, been working for Burning Man in one way or another for a long time. So we kind of have to talk about the terms and things that people who know Burning Man are just bandying about.
What did we talk about that's going to be completely opaque to our newest listeners?
I mean, we've just been talking about NVO, like anybody goddamn knows what NVO is.
Didn't we? Maybe you cut it out, because I thought at some point we sort of explained that on mic as we asked the questions about who are you?
Oh, possibly. But we're talking about it now. And people don't know now in the intro that we very well may or may not talk about it later, depending on whether people were like throwing cans of beer or other things at each other while we were interviewing.
There's a loud argument on the other side of the parking lot.
There's a whole lot of flavor happening in the background, and we're going to keep some of that in.
Well, to clarify then, friends, NVO is the Nevada Operations Department. They calved off of DPW a couple of years back, I believe during the pandemic shutdown. It's the same group of people, but they added a new it's not a sub-department, a distinct department that
It is a new world order, if you will.
Wow, okay.
That's in the notes. That's why I take notes when I edit now.
Wow.
Golly. The NVO is the people who manage the facilities in Nevada and who work at them year-round or for big stretches of time. That's the Black Rock Station Work Ranch, the Fly Geyser property, the offices and properties in Gerlach.
360, I imagine.
Yeah, the 360. There's a big solar installation down
Somewhere?
It's close to Fernley. It's
The Black Rock Solar thing presented by Black Rock Solar.
Yeah,
Black Rock Solar.
The people who work in the Reno office, basically the Burning Man employees who are permanently Nevada-based have now been put in the Nevada Operations Department.
So these are a lot of folks that live in Nevada, live in Gerlach, or are part-time living, seasonal workers living out on the ranch.
Mm-hmm.
It's DPW Phase 6. Not all DPW are called DPW anymore.
It is like a lot of these people and almost all of these positions were under the DPW heading previously. They've now been broken off, and a lot of these people will work seasonal positions in an NVO role, and then when the event happens, they'll move over to a DPW role and back to NVO, et cetera, et cetera.
So I really should have said this before, but let's have our Q&A music.
Q&A music, Q&A music, Q&A music, Q&A music.
One of the places you mentioned is Fly Ranch. That is what people are referring to when they are talking about just fly. They're not talking about the mustard bitey flies or the other miserable flies we have sometimes. Fly is Fly Ranch.
And it's not necessarily the geyser itself, it's the whole area around.
Yeah, Fly Ranch is the property where Fly Geyser is and where a bunch of the Laggy projects are happening. It's the experimental zone for the Burning Man organization to fuck around and find out. See if we can't, make compost happen, make soil grow in the Nevada desert and whatnot.
Thank you. Well, let's continue with our little Q&A session. So Popeye talks about a bimini in the context of the NVO art car bus boat that they're building at the ranch. Do either of you know what a bimini is?
It's an island.
It is also an island, but not what he was referring to.
No, I'm certain it's a nautical.
It is. But in this context, a bimini is like the awning that you have over the cockpit. The little canvas shade structure.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that totally checks out.
Yeah, that's what the ranch folks bought.
Anytime I don't understand Popeye, I assume it's about ships.
And that comes to another thing we need to get through in this intro, which is Popeye was a sailorman And we do talk a bunch about his boat experiences throughout this series of interviews or scrum or whatever the fuck we did. But it's in because it's interesting.
Oh, yeah. Popeye's got great stories about the sea.
And if you would like to hear much more about these folks that we weren't able to put in the episode because it gets quite cacophonous and drunky later on, but there's still some real good content there, I will be posting our Patreon discretionary cut of this interview right about the time when you hear this. So if you are a Patreon subscriber, thank you so goddamn much for supporting this podcast. This episode took me like 50 or 55 hours to edit because everybody was passing microphones around all the goddamn time. And for like the last hour of us interviewing these folks, 2 microphones were on the bar and still on, while me and Rex and other people shout and get increasingly drunk, while Beth and a wonderful human being from Dispatch have like an incredible conversation that I have to keep cutting my own goddamn awful talking out of.
So if you want the opportunity to be at this party and feel like you cannot leave it, then join our Patreon. We really appreciate it. None of us are paid particularly well, and we've spent a lot of money to make this happen so that we can record and we can send recording equipment to other people. It's really appreciated. It means a lot to us.
And you can get it for just $1.
Okay, here's an easy one. What is an LC?
That's a living
container.
Great. And compared to that, what the fuck is a BMT?
It's a Burning Man trailer.
You, my friend, stayed in a BMT.
We're not going to talk about me or the Prowler. I cut everything about me out of this episode. It made me upset. My chest got tight. I did not feel like listening to myself talk about it. And if it's still in, it's because maybe I put it back in because it was good and then put that out of my mind. I can do that. You guys ever try compartmentalization?
I mean, I hope you at least kept my horror story of reaching into a cabinet in your Prowler.
Don't know.
Because that is one of the most like horror movie moments of my life.
There was a bunch of almost entirely great stories that went absolutely nowhere.
Yeah.
Because of several somebodies. But all of that is gold. It just can't stay in the episode because that's not what we do. This isn't a burn barrel. There will be a burn barrel coming out shortly to keep all of you company while you travel to the playa. If you feel like listening to us when you travel to the playa, I will probably listen to podcasts and a rock opera or 2 on my way, but I don't know what other people listen to when they're on their way to playa.
I've got some good sobbing albums that I need to get out.
We'll talk about that in the burn barrel. Everybody keep an eye out for the burn barrel. Couple more questions. Everyone talks about the season. What is the season?
The season of work.
Yeah, that depends on what your role is. Some people's seasons start in January and run through October.
But that's so long.
Well, there's a lot to be done to plan for this party and a lot to be done to recover from this party. And
theater plays that are all done in a certain time frame are called a season as well. A season is like during this time we are putting this thing up, and during this other time we are not. So it is not a full-time amount of work. So when people are saying the season, they're talking about this work cycle for this event.
In particular, the people that we're talking to, a lot of them have seasonal contracts. So they're hired for so many months to do X job for Burning Man, and then they figure out their life for the remaining however many months, depending on the length of their contract.
Mm-hmm. Burning Man HR, feel free to reach out to us and let us know if those workers have health insurance or not. Last question I've got. People at the ranch kept talking about the saddle. What is the saddle?
That was actually something that I hadn't heard before, but I picked up in context. It's the low pass between the valley that Black Rock Desert is in and the valley that Black Rock Station is in.
A topographical feature.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to find the coordinates of that in the show notes.
It's actually pretty easy to find because there are not so many roads in Nevada. So if you're on the road that goes to Burning Man and you keep going, you'll eventually get to the Hula Pie Flat, which is on the other side of the saddle. I'm not 100% confident, but I think that's called the Hula Pie Valley. And the Hula Pie Flat is the playa that Burning Man 96 was on.
Well, I've got other things to do than research, so I welcome our listeners to do your own research.
Yeah. Pull up Google Maps. All of the topography is there. Oh, I see what you were telling him not to.
Well, the people who know will know. That's all I'm saying.
Some context. The entire reason that we are recording as we are at Far Bar at Black Rock Station this particular time is that Popeye asked us specifically if he could come on and give some updates about the work that NVO is up to as a sequel to episode earlier this season where we spoke with Brace. And he gave us updates from the previous year.
Brace of the amazing electrical project of making shade structures out of solar panels. So let's talk to all of our great new and old goddamn friends on the ranch.
Well, these are hot mics. We're recording.
All right.
We're doing a podcast thing.
All right.
All right.
Live from the ranch.
We're not live. This is a recording. Stop telling people we're live.
This is Black
We're
Rock
live from the
Station,
ranch now.
also known as the ranch.
Yeah, but
and
do you
not
really
the
want our
art piece.
listeners to know what this is officially called?
So, Popeye, do you want to say in brief what you do out here?
Yeah, I'm Popeye. I'm this NVO, Nevada Operations Specialty Construction Manager, which comprises of 2 teams with box build, so all the purpose-built boxes and offices that Burning Man Infrastructure uses, and then rehab is our on-playa service team, where we go around and field calls to fix those assets.
I know you just said, but can you give the numbers of those things?
Yeah.
For perspective about how big this job is.
So we're looking at 101 living containers, and each container is a 2-unit duplex. We have 185 boxes. That's between living boxes, office boxes, and 82 office containers.
It's a lot of boxes.
It's a lot of boxes. And then we have about 430 shipping containers that are just for storage that the org uses.
Do you rehab those as well?
We do.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we processed all the new ones and come in and add them into the inventory, and that was 31 this year.
So how long are you out here?
I live in Gerlach year-round. And then the teams that work with specialty construction, they're employed for about 8 to 9 months out of the year. So 9 months if you're on rehab, and then box build's about 4.5 months before the event.
Now, there was globally some difficulty getting shipping containers in the past couple of awful years. Has that been an issue, and has that changed?
Because of the Suez Canal?
Because of the global steel shortage.
The Evergreen ship that got caught there.
Yep.
Shipping containers, yeah, we buy them. It's all market rate availability. This year, we got them at a Song and a Steel, which is a good indicator that we are going into a recession.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good time for artists and a bad time for people.
It's a good time to get into the alcohol industry.
Yeah. If anyone's looking for some Ember Hard Kombucha, I've got a stock at a very discounted rate.
I hear it's real sweet, but also covered in mold.
Slightly moldy, easily available.
Yeah, but mold don't fuck with cans, so we're good.
Now you can bleach the shit out of a can.
So, Popeye, how did you get suckered into this?
I was a captain on a traditional sailing ship, taking people out on week-long vacations in the Caribbean.
Like sailing? Like with
Like
sails?
sailing. Schooner. I got a tramp stamp on my back that says schooner, and a tummy tat that says Tug Life.
So how well do you tack?
I tack and I jibe.
Nice.
Yeah, I know both. And
So do you know Knots, who also has Tug Life tattooed on his belly?
I know Good with Knots.
He might have changed his name to Good with Knots.
Yeah.
Big guy works medical?
No.
Oh.
No.
Different guy named Knots with Tug Life on his belly.
Oh, I have to meet this person on ESD.
ESD.
Oh, man. Well, I was going to say the ironic thing is I've actually never worked on a tugboat. It's just a good play off of Tupac Shakur's Thug Life.
But you've been tugged.
Once or twice.
You had a nice tug job. A sailor like you, it's got to
Yeah,
happen.
I've been pulled into port once or twice. So in the Caribbean, I was having a really rough, hard time, not enjoying that job. And a sailor friend of mine in the Caribbean is like, hey, there's this opportunity to go work at Burning Man on the ranch.
And that's when somebody condescendingly told you it's called Black Rock Station.
There is no ranch. There are no cattle.
So I had a half of an interview with a broken telephone connection and took a job as a ranch hand, not knowing what Burning Man really exactly was, and came out for a 9-month contract 5 months before the event. And then went to Burning Man.
That is my favorite origin story. The people are just like, nah, I just worked this stupid job, and then it turned out to be Burning Man.
Yeah, I came back in 2018 as another ranch contract, and 2017 I met my partner at that time, and we started dating. Came back in 2018, went through the season, and decided on Man Burn night that we were going to get married.
Oh, love is a hell of a Burning Man drug.
Yeah.
And you get fucking stuck.
Yeah, but we didn't do the cliche thing where we got married at Burning Man. We waited till everyone fucking left and then set up a wedding site here on the ranch, right over there, next to a David Best spire, and got married.
That's a David Best spire. I always wondered why it was so incredibly beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, and you notice it kind of looks down towards Fly Geyser. Uh-huh. So we had a great October wedding. Auto Shop fixed the Slimo, which was broken at the time, and spray painted just Murrayed on it with beer cans trailing off the back. We took my mom out on Playa and did 100-mile-an-hour donuts where the frame was twisted.
Oh, shit,
That's terrifying.
Off-roaded it to Black Rock Hot Spring, shot guns and fireworks, jumped in naked, and afterwards my mom said, I'm never fucking coming back to Girl Out. Yeah, joke's on her, we had a kid. Yeah. And she came out to be Camp Grandma so we could go to the event.
The old grandma trap.
So when we left in 2018, my partner and I decided that when the opportunity was right, we'd try to come back. We also found out, coincidentally, she was pregnant the day of our wedding. And she had a kid during the pandemic, and she was diligent, kept up on it, and got the job as the Gerlach Properties manager or something
Nepotism.
like that. Yeah. And we came back in 2021 during the pandemic and have been here since, living year-round.
Why? Sorry.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yes.
Did you just sigh why into the mic? Country living, Beth.
Don't tell me you haven't
It's
thought about it.
a really small town, but surrounded by mostly burners and whom else is out here in Gerlach?
Gerlach, the Desians of Gerlach, I have a fond saying that I created. They don't die, they just pickle in leather. So,
They just become mummy.
yeah. Out of 150, we have 150 people in Gerlach. We only have about 17 children. So not only bringing 2 people to live in Gerlach, but bringing another child to help the school system and the support system there was pretty big impact on the town.
So do you know literally everyone who lives there?
No.
No.
No, I don't go to the bar at night, so I don't know a large contingent of Gerlach.
Atticus, you teach their kids.
I do, yes.
We're also lucky to have here on the ranch a human being who, when not doing this silly shit, is educating the children of this particular area.
It's true, I do that.
How did you wind up doing that?
I needed a stable thing outside of Burning Man for the rest of the year.
So
Yeah.
it was absolutely Burning Man that brought you here.
Oh, yeah. I showed up in 2018 to visit a guy I met in a bar back in Connecticut.
Wow.
He happened to be working here on the ranch as I was moving to Vegas, and I never made it to Vegas. I stayed.
You stayed at the ranch, and now you are of the ranch.
I camped on Playa for 2 weeks until they gave me a job.
How does teaching out here go for you? It's a small school, I take it.
Yeah, there's only 22 kids enrolled in the school,
How?
and it's K through 12.
Jesus Christ, imagine trying to date in these circumstances.
Oh, no.
You'll figure it out.
Impossible.
Teens figure it out, Beth.
Yeah, some people call Gerlach Girl-lack because there's just like no populace for dating out here. Tinder's really interesting when Burning Man rolls around, though.
Oh, I bet. You'd really hope they prioritize your accounts over all the newbies that are here. Like, you guys should get the most connections.
I feel like that's how Tinder works.
I have no idea.
Yeah, shout out to any of our listeners who work at Tinder. Fix that algorithm. Make sure that Black Rock Station people get top placement.
Make Tinder Grinder again.
Okay, so here's an important question, and I need this answered because I'm afraid I might get shanked by saying the wrong thing in the wrong place. Who is DPW and who is NVO, and is it dangerous to make the mistake of one from the other?
Yes.
I'm going to let Popeye answer that question.
It's incredibly dangerous.
No, I just think it's all.
NVO not considered DPW?
So there's an identity crisis that's all being formulated out.
Oh, yeah, it
It's-
hurts.
This is why I'm bringing this up. This is me doing professional development on our hobby.
You can be NVO and DPW, or you can be DPW and NVO. It just depends on when you get your contract, how long you're going to be out here. We have NVO contracts that last 9 months out of the year. Some last a year, throughout the entirety of the year. And then we have people who just start on NVO, switch to DPW, go back to NVO in the postseason.
Can you explain what NVO is? I'm realizing we've just been using acronyms.
Yeah. So we have a department called Nevada Operations, which started from the Department of Public Works in 2017. They were known as Nevada Properties. And it was, there was a handful of people. We started off the year I was here. It was the Burning Man Project's recognition of the operations in Nevada, Gerlach specifically, that aren't necessarily tied to the event, but support the event. Mm-hmm. And if you think about it now, NVO is 150 jobs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and 70 of those positions were part of DPW in the pre-time.
Gotcha. So it broke off of DPW and now is having an identity crisis of whether or not it is of DPW.
Yeah, and I think there's not many people out here that'll argue different, but I just say the difference between DPW and NVO is that we're just here a little bit longer. I should explain that because that doesn't translate over audio very well. I just pulled out my radio
There's
and
a sexual gesture
and
involved.
showed them my antennas longer on my radio than the radios DPW get.
Yeah. Funny status symbol is how long is your antenna?
It's here 360 days out of the year.
So you're already a strange transient person doing wild, isolating jobs with people that are incredibly intimate and strange. Now you've just decided to continue on that route. So do you think that this is what you wanted? Like, you got a young kid. Are you going to hang out here for a minute? Is this what your plan is?
Right. My wife is extremely committed to Burning Man. She put in 14 years of working for the org, for GATE, and government relations before we got these jobs.
Yeah, well, I knew your wife before I knew you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this has been her dream. So we believe in the ethos that Burning Man has, and we like to build the culture and community that are out here.
That's great.
Yeah, part of that crisis identity, is recognizing how we can foster the community that is NVO. How do we do this? That's actually a conscious subject that we both had. And a lot of the leadership of NVO is like, how do we not only be like DPW, but we be different? How do we participate in a way that projects the goals that we're trying to set out? Like, there's a lot of lip service and talk, and that's easy, but the hard part is coming out here and doing dumb stuff and supporting the people that are helping us do dumb stuff.
Yeah, you've got a broader mandate.
Yeah. Yeah, it's real fun to watch DPW come out for 6 weeks. I love DPW. And them going hog wild and me being like, I'm too fucking old for that shit.
I'm tired. I'm middle-aged. I got a kid. I work all the time.
Yeah, and just it used to be, the Gerlach saying used to be, is it October yet? And now they're starting to realize that doesn't work anymore. Because it's just all year. And even over the winter, this winter we had about 35 people here.
On the ranch? In Gerlach?
In Gerlach.
Okay, so 35 NVO people in Gerlach.
In
That
Gerlach.
is a substantial percentage of Gerlach.
Yeah, and if you look at 2020, there was only about 5 people.
Oh, wow.
That's more people who work at Gerlach than work in Reno.
Yeah. At least go to the office.
Well, good for y'all.
Yeah, and it's that community too. We have our housing manager, Silkia, definitely is part of that conversation of culture. Like, what do we do? In the wintertime, we have stitching bitches.
Aww.
And
what do you stitch at your stitching bitches?
I don't know. I don't go because they're sober. They're sober.
My dick gets in the way.
There's always patches to sew on.
And the activities here, we have Barfight, who's the DPW manager, leads the department of the Wandering Cheeseburger Club, where on Sundays they go for a hike somewhere, and when they reach the summit, they eat a cheeseburger and come back.
Oh my God, I love that so much.
Yeah.
Beth, you have a mosquito on your cheek.
Oh, God.
Get the mosquito off your cheek. There you go. You got it.
I
That's
have
been eating
bug
you.
repellent. I'm going to go get bug repellent.
We don't have the infamous Black Rock Saloon, which is a nefarious hangout place for DPW all season, but we do use it as a communal space that we have meetings. and dinners at every week so we can all stay connected. And
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. There's a dog.
He quit.
Oh no.
Okay, we're going to take a break while there's a dog.
New voice on the mics. Identify yourselves.
So,
Yo.
That's not an identify.
I'm Turnaround.
Hi, turnaround.
I've been on this podcast once a long time ago.
That's right. We met you in the black hole.
No, we did not. We met at Center Camp many, many years ago.
No, I mean our listeners met you.
Oh, the
at
listeners
black
met. Okay,
hole.
for those who don't know, I worked with these assholes a long time ago in Center Camp until I transitioned to the glorious DPW, and now I'm NVO. Which I wanted to say earlier, I think that NVO, a good way that I thought about it, NVO builds the things that DPW builds. Yes, please. The skeets are bad.
And who the hell are you?
Cool Whip. Who the hell is Cool Whip?
What's a Cool Whip?
You're NVO as well?
Yes.
Is everybody currently out here, and it's like the beginning of July, is everybody still NVO, or are there starting to be DPW folks?
Pretty much everyone's NVO out here.
It's starting. DPW is starting to come in now.
It's coming pretty soon.
Next week?
Next week, yeah.
Yay! More shit shows all the time.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy to see how full the ranch gets. It's already feels pretty full.
Absolutely.
I like new faces, fresh meat, man.
People.
It's good.
Yeah, you were saying the dating pool's really small.
Yes.
It's
meat is important.
like
Fresh
when
meat.
you need someone to bring up gonorrhea because it's you need like a platter of
We
STIs.
went way too far there.
Look, we may not know a ton about NVO, but we know DPW.
Well, you know. I mean, so far, what's your experience like? How do you feel about NVO and DPW? What's your perspective?
Oh, I mean, I am impressed with the stuff that NVO is up to. Like the things that are happening in Nevada are really goddamn cool. I was just mostly kind of curious about how the structure broke down. You know, when a team splits off from another team, how that's shaped is interesting.
From what I can tell, it's mostly the T-shirts.
Yeah. I mean, we got that
I got
gradient.
an NVO
pink.
T-shirt.
It's really nice.
That's how I knew I was NVO.
And who are you? Put your name on the mic.
I'm Fancy Foot. Yeah, I just got out here today.
Fresh meat.
Us too. Welcome.
I was here a little earlier in the season, did some stuff, and somehow
stuff?
still decided to come back. So, here I am,
What
living
is
at the
the
ranch
stuff
now.
you're doing?
I'm in the shift pod god.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Shit fun.
How many shift pods does the org give out?
I don't know if is that classified? No, I mean,
not about
I think
money.
it's like, no, I mean, it's like, I think right now there's 130 and there might be a couple more coming soon. Like 130 of those, at least. That's the number we cleaned out in May and April.
How were they? How are people losing their shift pods?
Rode hard, put away wet. Well, dusty. I don't know. Yeah, they were very
Oh,
dusty.
dusty, really?
Yeah, oh, yeah, full of dust.
You don't say.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know how it happened, but somehow there was a shit ton of dust in all of them.
I was cleaning out air conditioners the other day.
Oh boy, yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that
like
shit's
10
fucked.
pounds of dust in
Yep.
each one. I was just like with a air compressor, making my own whiteout happen.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
that's what we were doing with the pods.
This last year's dust was so bad for getting in shit. I was coming home in a rental truck, and I got to Sacramento, and the air conditioner just stopped
Oh,
working.
God.
Yeah, and you know it was 100 degrees. It's fucking Sacramento. You just can't tolerate that. So I had to dig in the manual and figure out where the fuck the air filter is, pull it open, and I swear to God, I knocked 2 pounds of playa.
It's
off
crazy.
that thing.
Yeah.
At least.
Have you guys been out on playa at all?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
just stopped over real
So
real brief on the
smooth
way
and
up.
nice and beautiful. At least right now it is. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I feel like it's the perfect kind of conditions for a good supply a surface for once.
Yeah. Do you think it's going to be a hot year?
Of course, it's going to be a fucking hot year.
It's hot every year.
I mean, no. I mean,
all the bugs
this
this
is
year.
that's not. They're different.
It'll be fucking
It's
buggy.
various.
Year of the bug.
Yeah, there was a lot of rain. Lots of rain. Oh, fuck those guys.
But the participants will never see it because they'll all die on the Klieg lights before they get there.
Did you guys run over a lot of Mormon crickets on the way in?
They're the
Not this time.
nastiest
Yeah,
thing
they're cleared
ever.
now.
What do those look like? Are these
They're
Mormon
the
crickets?
red fucking crickets this big.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
about 3 inches long.
Oh,
they make
fine.
a satisfying pop sound when you go over.
Oh yeah, so they're also like cannibals, so they eat like they're dead, so that's why they're attracted to the dead. And then so like they're just like it's like a big fuck murder death fest on the
Oh my
road.
God, that's hardcore. Animalia.
Yeah, exactly. Automalia, baby.
Animalia.
Fits well with this year's theme.
Yeah.
I hope there's that many cannibalistic fairies out there this year.
All right, Popeye, I want to get the serious questions out of the way because invariably this is going to descend into chaos, and we had a purpose, so let's fulfill our purpose before that gin and that vodka that just showed up destroy any sense of purpose.
I'll take the tequila.
Ooh, tequila.
So, Popeye, what has NVO been up to this year?
So NVO's kind of solidified the things we started in 2021, where we've increased our population on year-round staff. The auto shop has increased its duration of operation. We had staff members for the auto shop maintaining the Burning Man fleet over the year. Rehab had staff throughout the year, over winter, in fixing Burning Man assets, and a lot of fucking spreadsheets. You know, I had messaged you like, "Are you guys here yet?" And then went onto a spreadsheet and saw the fact that you guys had fucking just checked in. And I was like, "Oh, if I had just, looked at one of the 47 tabs I have up and I'm like in computer, I would have figured this out."
People just don't understand how much of this is fueled by Google Sheets.
So we have about 14 properties in town in Gerlach, in the near Gerlach region that we maintain, and that's all increased in scope and operation. Fly is not actually part of Nevada operations, but they work in conjunction with us, and they've had over 28 campouts this year already.
Jesus, wow.
Yeah. So just that alone, the support it takes. NVO is here to support Burning Man Project in all of its ventures out here. Whether that's increasing our staff. You think of the downstream effect of every job we add or program we add or project we add, NVO grows to support that. And we're like the downstream effect for anything Burning Man Project does out here. The ranch operated all year round. 360 had operations all year. They're continuing to have operations. Our in-town progress in 2021, one of the director of NVO really challenged the board to be like, "Hey, you guys have this stuff. Let's do it. Let's use it. Let's utilize it."
Because the Burning Man Project bought up a bunch of property.
Yeah, and they've sat on it, and now we're starting to activate that and use it into year-round programming and activities that really kind of bring the ethos of Burning Man to the region outside of the event. And that's the big thing that we're really working on. I don't deal with that. I deal with the more event side focus. I support the event side focus, and you guys are out here to do work on your own stuff. And if you didn't, you would have had to contact me to do it. So I appreciate this.
We've never been told we can have anyone else work on our stuff. That's really good to know.
Yeah, I didn't tell you either. I just thanked you for coming out and working on it.
Oh, we're going to have a little chat about air conditioning later. Don't worry about it.
It's a way to really bring what we've already started as Burning Man Project and with the event and bringing it into year-round operations and creating this community out here.
I'll tell you that just between coming out to do a couple of work weekends last year and coming out this year, the level of energy out here is much more palpably present.
Right.
There is life at this ranch. It's great.
Oh, yeah. This is only the second evening I've got to spend out here on the ranch, and because with my family, I'm in town in the evenings. But, it's definitely, you come out here in the morning, I notice that people talk about what they did last night, the things that are happening, and just the community that they have. I mean, we can hear somebody with a grinder working in the shop right now, half a mile away.
Yeah, what the hell? It's after dinner. What are they doing working?
Making art.
Making art.
That's the right goddamn answer.
Right, yeah. We had our summer solstice party out here a couple weeks ago, and that was all produced by people working after hours on their own time, trying to do something cool.
Imagine if you had a nonprofit that just bought your cutoff wheels for you. You'd be grinding after dinner, too.
That's fair.
Them shit's expensive.
Fair.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for a bunch to arrive at home. It was like fucking $60.
You know, there's at least 3 art cars here in the fleet that are kind of derelict, and people have taken missions to fix them up. Batana Bus, which was out on Playa last year, completely free built by the auto shop guys.
That's a fun project.
Yeah, they got a bus that was scrapped. They got a boat that was being, like, literally dragged on the street in Empire and spray painted free on it. And they made their own art car.
Great how it's done.
Yeah. I think the most they spent was for the bimini and chairs in the boat, so they could sit on the top deck.
So there's a lot of cars out here at Black Rock Station. What percentage of those cars are operational?
So I think there's about 200 of them, and at least 160 of them go out to Playa.
That's solid.
Yeah. When Black Rock City is being built, this entire place empties out. Mm-hmm. And if you're on the ranch, that is the time that you get to run around, pull all the weeds, and restring for the next year. Mm-hmm. So where everything goes. The whole orientation of the ranch changes slightly every year. Now, my first 2 years working on the ranch, I would leave Black Rock City, drive to the ranch for work here for 8-9 hours of the day, and then drive back over the saddle. And while build week's going on, it would be completely fucking different from when I left. There would be a new street or a new, like, object or something. Like, the man would get stand up, and all I could hear it was from radio chatter. And it was just different every day. You'd come back to the ranch, or you'd come back to Black Rock City from the ranch, and the event would just pop up around you.
Is there already a plan for what the ranch will look like next year, or it's just where it settles, it settles?
I'm not on that team, so thank God.
That's need to know information.
You can make that up.
That is Waffle and his mysterious mind and brain and the hard work of the ranch crew who are at our beck and call for most of the year. If I need a box moved from storage over to our work area, I have to call a ranch hand.
Thank you, ranch hands.
Thank you, ranch hands.
They do solid work. Ashes and Logic took such incredible care of us on our last trip.
Yeah, we're reserving judgment until the end of this trip to thank them for this trip.
Wait till the weekend's over.
Mm-hmm. What kind of terrible things do people get up to out here that you probably shouldn't tell our audience?
I don't know. Let's ask somebody who lives on the ranch. Let's go with this person. Please introduce yourself.
Anonymous ranch person here.
My name is Fam, and I work for Rehab Crew, and I live and work on the ranch.
Tell us something dubious about the ranch. Something that you maybe shouldn't.
And I plead the fifth. Respectfully.
What's the most interesting thing you've seen out here?
Double rainbow.
Tell us on the podcast.
For sure, the nature, our setting out here, for everything around us to be our backyard and the people together, it makes it special.
It is just kind of a magical place to be.
It really is. With the people, it makes it something, I think, you know?
Yeah.
Definitely. When you're like painting those roofs and it's really, really hot, when you stand up and you look around at all of the mountains and it's been so green lately, it's just like, whoa, I feel pretty lucky to be out here.
Yeah, it's definitely been way more Mother Nature out here for sure. I've been seeing a whole lot of different reptiles this year.
Yeah? Is this your, this isn't your first year on the ranch? You've been
No,
out before?
this is my third year.
So you know the things.
Kind of. I know things.
Yeah, Fam came out on the pandemic year where we had no event. Spent all year out here working, and then had to go through an entire second year of this bullshit in order to go experience what is Burning Man. Although we did run around during Renegade.
Yeah, which was great.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You weren't supposed to do that.
I may or may not have found a founder out at Renegade wearing a DPW shirt.
No comment, no comment.
One that they earned or one that they bought from the online store?
There's an online store.
I assume that was just Larry's ghost. Just out there, the founder.
Did have on a hat and boots.
Larry never wore T-shirts.
Just chaps and nipple claps at times.
What about you guys? How long you guys been around?
Oh.
This is like your 22nd year? 23rd year?
Something like 24th? I don't know how numbers work. A lot. Since 99.
Oh, awesome.
I only missed the ones that weren't official.
Yeah, this is 14 or 15 for me.
And I'm at 10.
Yeah, after 10, it feels like kind of egregious to count. Like, kind of keeping track of sexual partners. Like, there's a certain point at which that stops being a good idea.
Look, when you've got the belt full of notches, you start on the bottom of the
I'm
belt.
calling you immature.
I have I have a vanity about it. I don't even care. I'm crusty.
We still talking about sex?
Yeah, I guess it does go hand in hand, kind of.
This is our second visit out to Black Rock Station. We came out for the first time last year, and the difference with those rains is night and day. It's incredible how much greener it is out here.
It's almost like the playa is the absolute worst place to try to exist.
No, it's beautiful.
This is so gorgeous
Just because
out
it's
here.
trying to kill us.
So I've lived out here on and off for the better part of 5 years. And along the ranch is a creek or a dried wash bed for most of the year. Mm-hmm. And the longest I'd ever seen it flow was for like 2 or 3 days. And this year we had 6 weeks straight where there was water flowing through it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And it just was kind of synonymous with like what was going on in the mountains, the snowpack we had.
There's so much snow.
Oh, I came out here in the wintertime by myself, and we had sheets of ice all over the ranch.
Oh, shit.
And I just went around ripping in my truck, doing fishtails and burnouts as much as I can, and then giggled and drove home.
I saw ice on the creek like in April or May.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. It was wild to think what it's like to be out there during the season. You're like, there was ever ice here? You know?
It was cold when it stayed pretty cold. Like 3 weeks ago on a Monday, the low was like 35. It was
when we were out
cold.
here last time, it was chilly as hell.
Well, once upon a time, even during Burning Man, even on playa, it was
frost.
cold.
There was frost one year.
Yeah.
I crunch. It was weird.
One thing that I think is really cool is that Black Rock Station is on the other side of the little ridge from the playa, and it gets completely different weather.
Microclimates.
All the way, yeah. Even Gerlach to here.
I drove out here one day in the winter, and we had about 4 inches of snow and black ice on the highway coming up here. And as soon as I got over the saddle, the roads were completely dry. There had been nothing here.
Wild.
And vice versa. In town, it had been completely dry. And as soon as I come over the saddle, they would just be socked full of snow in this valley.
Yeah, when we were coming in today in Gerlach, it's completely sunny and hot. As soon as we came over the saddle, it got cool and cloudy, and there is
and windy.
Definitely rain within a mile of us.
You can always see the weather coming in.
We seem to always be in the eye of the storm. The past few weeks, it's just been going around us.
You guys remember the Great Dust Storm of Last Supper 2017?
Oh, that was. Ooh.
So I was here on the ranch on the back end of Transpo.
At the end of your first year.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And we were sitting here unloading the last of the containers coming off playa for the day. And I look over and I can see, they're called haboobs? Haboobs! We're coming over Granite Range. And
Oh, Jesus.
This giant dust cloud. I had no idea what we were in for.
It's a dust apocalypse.
And my partner at the time was like, we're done. We should go. And we fucking beelined out of it. And she's yelling at me because I'm not driving fast enough in a fleet vehicle that's held together by fucking shoestrings and bubble gum. And we hit 12-mile entrance and go up Hall Road. I'm like driving the speed limit like you're supposed to because I follow the rules. And she's fucking yelling at me and just like smacking me in the back of the head. Go, go, go. We fucking make it back to the ghetto and run into our box just in time as that initial wave hit. We get dressed. Right, we got dressed to go to commissary thinking it would pass in 20 minutes. Opened the door after 20 minutes. Was like, nope, ain't going anywhere. And we kind of just like listened to people fumbling around in the dust storm and open the door, snatch them in. After about 2.5 hours, we had 8 people in an 8x10 box, half naked, with desserts and champagne.
Okay, that actually sounds great. Yeah.
Stolen away from commissary.
You're selling
Burning Man
this.
right.
Yeah, really.
What I'm saying is the boxes are immaculately sealed, very well temperature controlled. If you live in a BMT, I feel sorry for you.
Oh, what about an LC?
They're great. They're great.
This last year, burn day, that was super hot and dusty. We were sitting in an air-conditioned box having a read because we've been there for weeks. And at one point I get up to go to the portos, and it is so hot and so dusty I can't see our camp at all. And I run into a friend and I'm like, do you need a place? And he's like, we can't tell everyone. There's a bunch of people inside the car barn. I'm like, great. Just bring your partner and we'll sit in here. And the joke of it is that at that point I certainly had COVID. And all we did was share joints and liquor. Just nothing but putting our mouths on things that we just put mouths on. And they didn't catch it.
Put it in our mouth.
Yeah. They didn't catch it, but only because they'd had COVID before coming to Playa.
Right. So you guys definitely got COVID on Playa.
I did.
Yeah.
100%. And then I'm pretty sure I gave it to him and several other people. And I was told by my manager to get the fuck off.
Yeah.
And I had a 0.1 pass. But it was during Exodus, so you can't go out that way during Exodus.
Right,
I've never left at that time before.
You had to you had to be on
A 12-hour
you
line.
had COVID and sit in the line.
So you can't get out and you can't talk
Fuck
to people.
everything.
I have to
That
run
sounds like the worst thing.
You have to run your air conditioner, which means that the gas is slowly deteriorating. And something I drive for Burning Man, so I could have gotten it filled up if I knew. But
Right.
instead, I'm sitting for 12 hours in the line, and I can't be around anyone. And I got out and was as angry as I've ever been. It took me a while to
angry
realize how good last year was.
Yeah.
Is all I'm saying.
Last year was wonderful.
It was so good.
I had a great time, but I think that it wasn't really Burning Man for me because I hadn't gone in 2 years. It was kind of just like getting fucked up with my friends.
3. This is the thing. It's like you haven't gone in 2 years, but it's been 3 fucking years.
Okay. And so I don't remember much of the last burn.
Yeah.
I had a princess burn too. I didn't work. It was nice. Well, I did work. I bartended the Black Hole like every night, which is kind of like working.
I had a real weird chaos burn last year. Like no plan I had came to fruition.
Well, you guys took over the kitchen by
We
accident.
took over the kitchen. Like work was great at Burning Man, but like every single time we tried to go out at night, there was some sort of
Womp.
collapse of the group or other random crisis or
The mooping of a dear friend who was too too fucked up to function on their own.
Oh no.
Like twice.
Twice.
Like we accidentally moved him and then we picked him back up and accidentally moved him again like 20 minutes later.
Oh, brother.
So, Papa, I don't know if we've brushed on these topics yet, but like, have you witnessed or been a part of injury on Playa that is a horrifying yet enjoyable story to share?
No.
No. Oh, look at him knocking on wood. Smart man.
No, that's the
You've
sailor
never
superstition.
Seen a fire dancer set themselves on fire.
Fuck no.
Yeah.
No.
All right. Fair enough.
I did 16 years at sea, and it was all about risk aversion.
Yeah,
So-
it seems like it should be out there, but it is not.
You know, I've done the things like go to the 420 Spire party and not wiffle ball, but kickball.
flaming kickball.
Kickball. I went to kickball, and I was like, nope.
You are a smart man.
Nope, right out of there.
I also did that once. Like, as I was walking up on it, I was like, okay, so this is already going on. And then, like, I kind of walked around the periphery of it, was like, there really is no safe place to stand around here.
No, I watched from a distance, and I was like, it's a shame the keg is at second base. I really need another fucking beer.
Yeah, that's how we get you.
Kickball is very disruptive at Burning Man. Be aware, people get mean.
Yeah, everybody thinks they should be playing, like, high school games out here as drunk adults. But boy, do some folks take that seriously.
What about our friends around here? Have any of you witnessed or been a part of an injury?
Yeah, I was at a dance camp, Burning Man night.
Yeah.
Burning Man night. The thing burned. And it was like 3 a.m. and there was a girl in front of the stacks just laid out, foaming.
Terrifying.
It was absolutely terrifying.
Oh my God, that's terrifying.
Yeah. And a couple of us noticed and we picked her up. And thankfully, I'm on DPW. I know a lot of people with radios and we got her help immediately.
You found a radio and got help.
Yep. She's A-okay. I stayed until I saw her resuscitate, and then I was like, I'm out of here.
Job done.
Job done. Yep. And then I went to Calexodus and saw the sunrise there. So it was a good night. Overall.
Other people's trauma are sometimes just a part of your good night.
Sure. You just have to let it roll.
It is.
You know?
I'm worried. I have a radio all event this year, which means I have to be ready to do that when I'm not ready to do that.
Yeah.
Understandably, and I'm a little bit terrified about it personally.
You won't be if it
just
happens.
call the Rangers when
Absolutely
it happens.
no. All it is I need to call. It's not that I have any ability to help those people. Fuck no.
Yeah.
Like,
You also roll with a whole bunch of people who know radio protocol
Yeah.
and can dash off a message in no matter what state we're at if you can't.
Even if you just yell help, help on the radio, the right people are going to come on.
yeah. Oh, are you a dispatcher?
Plain English. Yeah, I don't want to talk on that thing.
Okay. Well, you know, yeah.
You can practice.
I've never seen one with such a long antenna before.
And flexible.
Oh, that's funny. All right, friend, now you are actively being interviewed.
Hell yeah.
Tell us, how did you get tricked into this bullshit?
Fucking email.
Email.
It's an email scam.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, I
Did
live
they
in...
tell you there was a Nigerian prince out here at
Yo,
Black Rock
like,
Station?
how did you know? Did you get that email too? No, I was like, life was sucking in Portland, and I work as like a handyman, and all my work was drying up. I think it's the economy or something. I don't know. But then I saw the email about Burning Man's hiring in like March. I was like, Burning Man's hiring in March? Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, and so I applied, and then 2 weeks later I was down here. And then they
Nice.
were like, do you want to come back? I'm like, I've got some other things to do, but I'll be back in a month, yeah.
Fuck
so
yeah.
Here we are, doing the whole season except for the last month.
And you've been before?
Just once.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm
You,
basically a virgin.
when was your first year?
2019.
Oh, great. So you did the hot, dusty, awful year.
That wasn't that bad.
Oh, God, it was incredible.
Oh,
It was
okay.
wonderful
best.
from top to bottom, but there were several years before then where it was too easy.
Oh, okay.
Where it
'Cause
didn't get
I
too-
I got the vibe. I was like, that was less dusty than I was expecting. And then I heard about 20 like last year, and I was like, that sounds terrible.
I don't want to derail anything here, but there is like a beefcake show.
They're throwing literal cans at each other right now.
Wait, there's stuff going on.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's spraying.
that was
Oh,
gonna
fuck,
be
it's
thrown
coming
right
back. It's coming back.
Yeah.
Here it
Was
comes.
it literally between his legs? That was incredible.
Put the microphones in your shirts if
Spraying
you
on the
have
car
to.
with the
And
hot
now
water.
the car is being sprayed down by beer.
With the bussy. All right.
It's always great seeing other people's stuff punished for what you did. Like, just take it out on the machine around you.
Listeners at home, can broke, sprayed it on the car between the legs.
So you're an actor by trade or by folly?
You call it, yeah. That was a complete accident. Started doing it when I was a kid and couldn't stop.
Oh, you're from Portland. What high school did you go to?
I didn't grow up in Portland.
okay,
Grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, though. Shout out Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, hey.
That's right. For all your listeners out in Cleveland, I was just in Cleveland for my sister's wedding like a week ago. It was good times. I hadn't been back in the summer for like, I don't know, 10 years.
The summer
And-
on the other side of the Rockies is intolerable. It'll really make you change your perspective about playa bugs.
Oh, playa bugs are so, like, that 1 year where they were stinky and bitey is so little compared to just one trip to Summer Lake in the summer.
It's really just the novelty.
I spent 16 years at sea where we judiciously clean the ship every day as if it was going to church.
Just like Burning Man.
Yeah. And you're in an environment where there's not a fucking bug, there's not an animal. It's fucking awesome. And I come out here and I live in this place where we have Mormon crickets, green fucking stinky shield bugs,
Those fucking assholes.
mosquitoes, and the gnats. The gnats are the worst.
Fuckers. Especially when the fucking mustard flowers are going, and the gnats all of a sudden sting.
I'm like really contemplate some days of my life of like what I did wrong to end up here. Marriage.
But on the other hand,
Always the answer. What did you do
Joining
wrong?
a cult would have downsides.
You know, that's funny you say joining a cult. So I just went. I spent 4th of July camping with Gigsville. Through friends and friends and friends. One night in the throes of the evening, they just started shouting, "All my adult friends I know from Burning Man."
Yeah, and the handful I don't, I have dragged here.
Right.
Right.
It's a funny thing how this place acculturates community like that.
It's what we're made for. We heard about a thing where, like, people spend their free time building crazy shit and making you try to find it in the desert.
Right.
If that's compelling to you, like, this is where we're doing it, man.
Honestly, it was like when I went to Burning Man, the only time I've been to Burning Man, we were on our way out and they were shaking us down at exit for stuff. And I was like, those
Shaking us down.
yeah.
That's called Calexidus.
Yes, I know. I've learned this, but that's how I felt. And I was like, those people look upset, tired, and angry. How do I get involved?
Those guys have this look in their eye like they're not going anywhere
it's like, I want
for
that
a while.
dead look in my eye.
Any unopened liquor, half-drink cases of beer,
Yeah.
unopened foodstuffs,
I get
give
them
them
all
to
my cigs. I
Calexidus.
give them all my cigs. I knew it was up.
Yeah. We take them.
TVs.
You want a TV?
Xbox controllers.
They don't work out here. What are you going to do? Operate a submarine?
Too soon.
It is never too soon to make fun of people spending their money to kill themselves.
Yeah.
Hey, it's not like buying a pack of smokes. It's like buying a pack of smokes for $250,000.
How is the Titan sub like marriage?
How is the Titan sub
They
like
screw you in and you can't get out.
The banging has stopped.
That is so fucking bleak.
the banging?
As a sailor, I had a string of partners that would always, be forgotten by my one true love, the ocean. I was like, how do I end this
A
relationship?
string of brandies.
It's like, how do I end this relationship? I was like, oh yeah, just like a Beatles song. Fade out to black.
That's coward stuff right there. You could have like one big last fight if you really wanted to.
Yeah, but then the sex is too good afterwards, and you forget about
Stay
it.
with it. And then
Yeah, it was always a case of never leave an empty or an upset partner.
So query about the people in this general vicinity. How often has love been an issue about why or why not Burning Man? Like, it seems like fundamental.
Like every day, right? Every day since 2006?
I don't understand that.
Do you have a relationship? Have you had a relationship?
Oftentimes.
On playa, off playa? Did a playa relationship lure you into a degenerate career?
It was probably me luring people in.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
It's what love does. It's my pet theory that actual romantic love with other people is a huge part of what makes us so dumb about it. Community love, social love, like, and romantic love. I'm sorry, I'm a relationship
relationships.
Yeah, I'm talking as a relationship anarchist, where it's like the
you
coolest
really
things
needed
that
to
you get.
like set the groundwork for that.
Community love, relationship anarchists. Like, the idea of, like, what is the nicest thing that we get is community, and the intimate relationships with other people, whether they be romantic, sexual, or whatever, I feel like is a foundation of Burning Man for me. And I find over and over again that often romantic love is what brings people into it. Like, you fall in love out there, or you have a partner that brings you out there, or like, yeah. The first time I came out was because a partner that I loved and his new partner were talking about Burning Man, and I hadn't heard of it. Honestly, I think it takes that level of dumbassery of, like, my brain is flooded with love chemicals to do this stuff.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes you can just get there about the whole space and the whole creature and the whole thing, and sometimes, goddamn, there's a person who, like, is the igniting point of that.
So I was thinking about relationships and love when you brought that up, and of all the burns that I've had, there was only one where it was just me and a romantic partner.
Yeah.
And it was one of the worst burns. Just the worst.
You can't live out here under somebody else's expectations.
We fell in love at Burning Man, which was part of the reason why I was like, cool, because I know we can burn well together. I didn't know if we could relationship well together outside of Burning Man, but I knew that if we came back, we could burn well together.
You kidding? This man knows how to verbalize his feelings.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's like an emotional level most of us don't have.
I'm sensitive.
I came out here, I was with someone who was like professional burner, had been a bunch of times, and like when we got together, I was like, I was sick, I've been wanting
So they worked on DPW? What was her name?
Oh, no.
Professional.
Not professional, you're right. No, now I know.
Oh, they probably have their shit together and a job to go back to.
I wouldn't go that far. But yeah, no, it was tough because I had been wanting to go for a while, and she had been a bunch of times. So like, oh sweet, we can go, and it was like, yeah, I never had a breakdown until I came out here. You know what I mean? We had a complete we didn't break up then, but I'm sure it was a part of it. We got to know each other. We also found that there were two other factors with this, which was one, that there was a trailer next to our hex yurt that was just running the whole time. For their electricity, they just ran their generator, and it was just right next to us. And we asked them to turn it off, and they said, "Well, it's our generator, so no." So we might have had carbon monoxide poisoning, and also a vial of LSD was empty when we took it out the last day, and we weren't doing that much acid, and so I think it was just in the cooler the whole time.
Oh, that is fucking rad.
Every time you go for a drink.
Yeah, we're just rooting around in there, rooting around in a fucking. That was like an almost full vial when we got there, and we were just like dosing normal. And the last night we're like, let's dose up this time because we'd been through the whole breakdown. This like, that's a good idea. And then we like squirted. It was like nothing in here, and we're like, where the fuck did it go? And it just we kept it in the cooler.
So you drank all the cooler water.
We really should have at that point. Oh my god, yeah. But no.
Yeah, you need to panic like a scumbag when you find out that your drugs are in your cooler water.
Next time. Yeah, I know. I think it was a blessing in the end. Yeah.
This is the reminder to folks that are listening to this that this is a stress test of your relationship.
100%.
Yeah. It's for your fucking self. And if you don't have it, be for real about it.
Yeah, check in on your relationship agreements. Figure out if you can.
And we tried, dude. That's the crazy part. No matter what you do, you gotta look out. So that's why I'm stoked to just be here working by myself and see the whole thing come together and have my own burn.
Oh yeah, sure. By the end of this, you are gonna be in an deeply entwined relationship. You're gonna go on a drug trip one night and run into some lady and just be like, "This is my soulmate."
Come October, he's in a throuple.
Absolutely.
It really comes down to don't take anything to Burning Man that you can not stand to get ruined, including your relationship.
So I have a good story that parallels this. So I have a coffee cup, a very unique coffee cup that I got with a bunch of sailor friends years ago in the Caribbean. And through the years, that cup has spent 100,000 miles at sea with me. Stolen twice.
That's too many miles.
Knocked overboard and recovered in Lake Michigan.
No way.
I hit the man overboard button. Came back to the dock. Took the coordinates from the man overboard location. Gave it to our staff diver who was going on a dive next to where that was, and he went and recovered it.
Oh my god!
Stayed there. Brought it to Burning Man. Went on the DPW parade. Completely blacked out. Went on the gate parade, which I didn't know was a thing. It was told to me the next day I was on it. And lost my cup. Completely gone. And as staff was moving off, my partner was throwing the last bit of our garbage and was throwing it into the dumpsters in the ghetto and overthrew a can. And they walked back behind it thinking fuck, I can't be the asshole that just leaves trash on Playa. So they go behind the dumpster and they pick up the can that they had missed, and out of it, this sand dune standing behind the dumpster is this tough to fucking rope from my cup, and they excavated it out. And they're like, this fucking asshole's been missing this thing for 2 weeks. He loves this thing probably more than he loves me, but not as much as his dog.
And so the point is you still have your dumpster cup.
Yeah, it sits in my house. It does not come out to the ranch or Playa, and I still have the partner as well. And the dog.
That's 3 for 3. That's solid.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good in life.
If you can Burning Man with partner, I am also like, damn, that's a good relationship.
Right.
Like-
You have to look out after each other. You have to know where people are going to go crazy, and when they go crazy, you let them go.
And have the freedom and autonomy to let them go do their shit and you do your shit. And it can be a very lovely, healthy dynamic.
Absolutely. And, you know, the corollary of don't take anything to Burning Man that you can't stand to get ruined is once something has survived to Burning Man, you know what you've got. Like,
Yeah.
I know a Costco carport is going to last for at least like 4 or 5 burns. I don't know if that, like, Harbor Freight piece of shit is going to last.
You know it's
That's
not.
why you buy the return policy.
Oh, honey, are you
That's
saying
not
I'm
why
like
we're
a
saving money
Costco
at Harbor Freight.
carport? We've been together for 8 years. This Burning Man.
It's an analogy.
No, it's a compliment. I'm sturdy and somewhat weatherproof. If you ratchet me
got at a good
down, I can
deal.
do you favors.
You were ratchet before you met him, then.
You can be set up in under half an hour, under 15 minutes if
Yeah.
you've got an extra set of hands.
Fuck yeah.
This blue color on the boxes this year was me sitting here also lonesome over the wintertime going, I wonder how far I can push this color before they tell me I've gone too far. So I'm waiting for all these boxes to go to Playa and the org to be like, yep, you just crossed that line.
We just found out that the container that we have been nursing for a decade
Longer
color
than that.
is called Inferno.
Oh, no. I chose that
You did?
when we patched it last time.
But it's
Yeah,
so
I knew-
directly the right color.
Of course. I'm an artist, Beth.
That's what color carrots are.
I'm an artist.
But I knew that I wasn't going to keep the note of what color I bought for the Carrot House, so I chose the one that when I was looking at all of them at Home Depot, I would know what it was.
Yeah.
And I went there this time and I was like, it's like nuclear orange or fallout orange or something like that. And I'm looking and it's like, nope, Inferno.
Yeah, we did the Colexodus boxes, and they.
What are Colexodus boxes?
So Colexodus is as you're driving out of Burning Man event, there is a bunch of on both sides what we call the fallopian tubes that funnel you out Gate
Oh,
Road.
I love it.
Is 2 boxes. One on one side is going to be what titled Kumquat Orange. And that is where all of our Colexodus volunteers sit and barter or beckon for you to leave
Shake you
all your
down.
shit. Yeah,
Shake you down. Like, hey, do you have any drugs or alcohol?
Solicit, yeah.
Yeah,
Perfect.
solicit you.
Perfect term. And then on the other side, we have the kitchen where they cook food because they're a 24-hour operation for 72 hours. And it's kumquat purple.
Oh, no, eggplant.
Eggplant. Yeah, so
Eggplant?
Oh my kumquat orange, eggplant purple. Thank you. And, that's one of those things like DPW, NVO. DPW is pretty strict on, we have to match these color codes and whatnot. And I think one of the things I'm pushing is, let's fucking make it pretty. So depressing and drab.
We're an art party, right?
Yeah. Make it pretty.
All of the housing should be painted flat brown.
Next year,
Great.
Wanted to pick up the dust.
I got a plan for next year.
That was really nice.
It's fun that there's a method to this madness. You look around and everything's kind of different. The boxes are actually intentionally every year built different aesthetically on the outside, so you can tell the year that they were produced.
Oh,
I like the window.
Is it true? Are they going to be pink next year? I heard a rumor.
In honor of Barbie. and how it's going to beat Oppenheimer in the movie theaters.
Pink paint went up in price.
I did know that.
That was wild. So maybe don't do that.
I actually do know that because
there was a shortage.
I had some friends who are they have an art studio and they use pink for all their accenting shit. And I was helping them hang some shit in their studio, and they were like, "This pink paint was so expensive. It's so weird." And then I saw the post like a few days later. I was like, "This is probably why." Like the Barbie movie used all the pink paint.
If they were real artists, they would buy white and red. I'm just saying.
I mean, come on.
I learned that shit in preschool. Granted, my mom was an art teacher, but still.
White and red.
Sometimes you need a little bit of yellow.
Throw a little yellow in there. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. Thank you. Turn around.
Got you. You know, I'm an artiste. It's going to be the bug
Lucky
apocalypse
that I
of
haven't.
2023 for sure.
All right, friends. So you've been doing this for a minute, and you've been doing this for a minute in the realm of the folks that create the event. What is the thing that pissed you off the most that you've seen participants do?
Like to my personal self or to something?
to like.
Yeah, you worked coffee shop. What's the worst thing that happened to you at coffee shop?
Talk to a lot of folks who are coming here for the first time.
All the bikes.
People get really mad that they have to pay. They had to pay. Like that was always a thing. Telling people they couldn't sleep there. I always felt bad about that, but there are people that really got off and be like, you can't fucking sleep at center camp.
It's a slippery slope argument that doesn't really need to be made, but we definitely drew a line in the sand of no one gets to sleep in center camp. Except last year, because nobody was doing anything else.
I mean, they need
so by all means,
I'm gonna fucking
come
tell
and
you.
use the shade.
I slept at center camp last year.
Hell
good.
yeah.
You ought
It's
to.
a nice shade structure.
We don't have Root Society out here anymore.
Every year I conduct a tiki tour on Tuesday.
Of tiki bars?
Of tiki bars. We just go around Playa looking for tiki-themed bars.
That sounds great. I want in.
And we had to go pick up a staff member who was doing a TED Talk in center camp. And while I was conducted to wait for them, I fell asleep in the shade of center camp. And our entire tiki tour just left without me. But I got a radio, so I found it. Because I'm radio important.
One year, like after I did DPW, I was on Spires, so I'd been out here for like 3 weeks at that time, and it was Gate Parade. And I was on Argo Bargle's car, which is like a two-stacked car,
I believe I've seen it.
Steely Dan.
Got a
so I was-
scorpion on top.
It's dope. It's a really good one.
It's better than Steely Dan.
I mean, for fucking sure. I mean, it's a shit box, but it's a glorious shit box.
Uh-huh.
So I was on the
If
top.
they ever made an album called Glorious Shitbox, maybe they'd be better.
Hey!
You leave Steely Dan out of this.
Look, as a son of an older white man who loves jazz, fuck Steely Dan.
Say it for the ones in the back. Hey. So I was really crusty at that point. It's opening night, Gate Parade. And I had this like little flogger that was a leather hand with a heart in it that was on the lower level. And this guy was drunk and he walked by and he just took it out of the back. And I was up there and I saw this guy take it and I about jumped off the fucking car. I was like, who the fuck do you think you are? I've been here for 3 fucking weeks building the city for you? I was so fucking mad.
It's an attitude the participants love.
Yeah, they really do love it. And that's the
to
great
be
thing
fair,
about
like,
the DPW
you
parade.
get crusty at a certain point, especially if you don't have I don't know, you don't connect with your team as well as some others. Some teams you don't.
My first impression of DPW was in 2008 when
That
I
was
went
my
for
first
my
year.
second year.
American Dream.
Yeah, fuck that. Actually, at least that's a fucking theme, as opposed to just Burning Man again. Maybe Burning Man. I don't know. Fertility.
Beth, this one is Burning Man animals.
Yeah. Well, good. We love furries. We do.
I really hope next year, the theme is hexagons or something like that.
Sacred geometry.
Fucking anything better than these goddamn Hallmark card themes,
Wait, what's
please.
a fancy word for sacred?
Sacred?
Fibonacci sequence, which we renamed the fettuccine sequence.
Numbers.
Yeah, I mean, I do like what they did with the naming of the streets. They named them all after cryptids. But they did 2 with bats. They did a dingbat and
But then the theme could have been
Wombat
cryptids,
Reel.
and that would have been cool.
Frogback and dingback, but they missed out.
They should have done Dick Dick. They're so cute. They're so cute.
Though it's a real critter.
But they are cute.
I mean, are we sure they're for real? I'm a little bit like
For
they might be
real?
myths. Dick
If
dicks?
quail are real, dick dicks are
You
real.
can't make a deer that tiny.
We have quail and Gerlach,
The way that they will waddle across the street.
like uncaring.
They're
that
like
about to
nature's
get killed.
snacks.
Oh yeah.
They're slow rabbits.
Here's a fun one. We had a quail give birth like somewhere in
Oh,
the
that was
vicinity
so
of my
cute.
house.
Oh, I was the first one who noticed it. Those little poof balls, they were so cute. Did the cat eat them?
It gets real fucking dark.
Yeah.
I come home 2 days later and my son goes, "Do you want to see the dead quails?"
All of them?
I was like, "Yeah, bud, sure."
no.
And he takes me into the empty pool that's dried out and has been dried out where we live, and shows me the 5 dead quail babies that had just hatched earlier that week.
Buddy.
And
They were so cute.
we proceeded to bury them. And when his mother came home, he wanted to dig them up to show her.
It's a good. It's a good lesson.
That's a good kid right there. Yeah.
Circle of life.
And
The
zombies.
thing is, they stay under there unless you dig them back up to show your mom.
This is archaeology. He's a cool little kid. The
Yeah, you
first
got that
time.
little shovel. You want to use it. Yeah, when you got a little shovel, every problem is those dead birds under. Anyone else got any stories about dead birds?
Participants, too.
Participants, like times of seeing participants act in ways where you're like, fuck this.
Oh, I got another one.
Never? Never. Listen to this NVO motherfucker being like, participants are fine. They're
So
great.
that's the difference between NVO and DPW. You're not posturing.
NVO is the final incarnation of the kinder and gentler DPW.
That's a fact.
Just weird nerds living in the desert.
I mean, like, there's a point when you're out here and you're like, oh, I'm out here for 5, 6, 7 months. You kind of just got to get over it if you don't like somebody. You're like, just got to make things symbiotic. Yeah.
And you're like, participants, I only put up with them for 10 days.
Fuck, right? Jesus.
This asshole in
Like,
my
I will
team's here
be
for 7
the
months.
zenest motherfucker. I'm like, you have no idea. Oh, your feet hurt? Tell me about it.
So the event is like shore leave for you guys.
That's a fact. I actually, if you find me on Playa, I will be acting as if I had just gotten off of a fucking sea trip. Oh, yeah.
What do you do at Burning Man?
So, well, on my days off,
What do you do?
I have a tiki tour on Tuesday.
Ooh.
This will be the 4th annual tiki tour.
Wait.
Anal tiki tour.
According to the Black Rock yearbook. And we go out and find out every tiki bar that is
Fuck yes.
tiki themed, tiki-ish
You
themed.
have no idea how weirdly in sync we are right
Yeah,
now.
she just was
go.
just saying she wanted
Yeah,
to
no,
see
you
it.
don't understand. The actual head of our department has an entire tiki-themed house.
Yeah, so was mine.
Yes!
I went to Playa last
This
year.
is why I like you.
I went to Playa in 2022 with 7 bottles of rum, 2.5 gallons of pineapple
7
juice,
bottles of
Oh,
rum.
fuck
a
yeah.
gallon of coconut water. I left with 9 bottles of rum, 0 gallons of pineapple juice, and no coconut water.
There's something in the Burning Man community when you have a friend whose favorite liquor isn't just whiskey. Everyone brings that person a bottle of that
rum.
non-whiskey liquor.
We all get rum or tequila, and we all grow from it.
The other days that I get off, when I'm fortunate enough, is that I'll fill my Nalgene bottle with ice and absinthe. Kiss my wife goodbye, and left up to my own devices.
Yes.
So like out to art?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll just
Into
go
people?
whatever. Like I'll just go walk through the city, and that's the thing too. Like we have access to staff cars and bicycles. Point one.
I get
All
to
the fun things.
The
But
fucking
it's-
radio of like, please dear God, someone come pick me up.
It's literally. I had that happen. I
Yeah.
went sailing on the Monaco
Fuck yes.
outside of the trash fence in 2017.
Yes.
Outside of the trash
Yeah,
fence.
and it broke down, and a
course it
perimeter
did.
truck showed
Of
up
course
to
it
make
did.
sure we were all right. And I was like, "Get me out of here, please!
Deuces.
I have to go to the Slut Olympics at the Slut Garden. I got a date to make."
I just wanted to jump in here and let everybody know that Rex's favorite liquor is absinthe. Thank you.
Good to know. Good to know.
Shit, Aquavit. I said absinthe because you said absinthe.
When I was on a ship, I spent, every paycheck I'd buy 2 bottles shipped over from Europe. And just had,
real shit.
Yeah, I had an entire, speaking of living in a prison cell, that ship I had my own cabin with my own separate bathroom and shower and 2 hanging lockers. One hanging locker was closed, the other one was just absinthe.
Back when absinthe was still illegal in the States, there used to be a little boutique on Valencia Street in San Francisco that just sold cardigans. And you'd go in there and you have to go up to the counter and you had to ask if you have any lavender cardigans in stock. And then they would bring you a shirt box with 2 bottles in it, and you would give them $80 and leave with your absinthe. It was fucking incredible.
Yeah, this ship I worked on, we had the captain looked like a little Greek version of Danny DeVito. His whole shtick was he had done this entire life of sailing, been on movie filming, and lived an incredible life as the storybooks would write. And he brought mail down one day, and it's this brought in by Germany or sent by the Czech Republic. He's looking at me and he's just like, this is either really good porn or absinthe. I'm like, it's absinthe. He's like, well, let's start drinking. It's fucking 9:30 in the morning. He's like, I'm the captain. I don't care.
Yeah, that's Greek shit right there. I got Greeks in my family. They are like that too.
How did that work out?
I ended up, that was the only time I was actually injured on a ship. I fell off the side. Landed on a concrete pier.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and I got sent home for a medical exemption.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yikes.
Yeah. No, I mean, this was a completely different incident. I was sober. But, yeah. That was my metric of I got paid too much for that job. Was the fact that I had that much fuck you money that I could just buy, import absinthe from Europe.
You say fuck you money. Jesus Christ. Fuck you money is what? Buying a bottle of alcohol?
Yeah. Well, I lived a scumfuck's shitty life.
So talk to us more about that. How scumfuck shitty? Where do you
Metal
come
box
from?
on a metal ship in the ocean.
Yeah. With a bunch of people who were only making $300 a month that we thought it was a good idea to give ourselves tattoos because we wouldn't afford them.
Jesus
Wow.
Christ.
And also, the days are long.
That's wild.
No, I'd already seen this. It was just part of why I'm please tell me. For our listeners, Popeye has a stick and poke that says bad ideas on his ankle.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Which I am how...
What's great about it is that it's exactly at the right angle for if you've got your ankle kicked up on your own knee. It goes sideways up the leg.
Our captain walked in while I was doing that and so proud of his command, and he's showing off to another friend of his and that happened to live in the port, and walks in on his crew just giving ghetto stick and pokes and looks at us and goes, you guys should probably stop that. And then turns to his friends and goes, they're here all summer, folks.
Oh, fuck.
I keep a tight ship. No cellulitis.
So you're used to working under a contract, is what you're saying.
100%. 100%. It's back to community. You're not there for the work. The work's all the same no matter where you go. It's the people that you're around. And I had turned down a job working in Cabo San Lucas, rough life, rebuilding a boat that was 100 years old.
Oh, well, that is complicated.
But I am a shipwright also. Giving up a contract going to Cabo San Lucas to join this ruffian crew just because it was, in the United States and with these people that I semi-knew better than by myself in Mexico.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, Cabo San Lucas is a fucking trash fire, which
is.
My folks had a timeshare there, so my mom was a travel agent.
Oh my God. And oh my God on top of that.
Yes. So the fictional old careers travel agent.
Oh, my mom still has one. She's old. Old people still have travel agents.
Really? Your mom's a travel
My mom still has a travel agent.
Has one, but we went down there for years and watched it come from a place where it was like a hotel, a glass factory, which was cool, and a series of really nice restaurants. And it was like to a series of giant malls that had mass shootings in them.
Yeah.
That we're having this huge problem with the drug trade, with like fucking Planet Hollywoods and stuff in the matter of 20 years. From tourists like to come down here because it's a good fishing place, it's pretty.
And you can get all the mocaine you can do.
You
Bartenders
can
know
get
where
all
the
of
cocaine
them.
is everywhere.
The
I'm
Molly.
pretty sure Baja's laws now is 12 grams of anything and under is considered personal use.
That was a place where I saw a tiger kitten, like in a cage that you could pay $20 to get a like drugged up tiger kitten. Like in
Some real Tiger King
the
shit.
last time I went there, that was the most distressing thing I saw was that drugged up tiger kitten on its like in a cage that was 4 feet by like 6 feet.
But how much do you have to pay to be allowed to throw a beaver into the tiger kitten cage and watch
pay
it eat it?
$20 to hold it while you get pictures taken.
So
of
like
it.
60, 70 bucks.
And it's only $6 for the donkey show.
I'm more into the Great Dane stuff, but I know where you're coming from.
Everybody thinks they're going to enjoy the donkey show. Nobody enjoys the donkey show.
No one wants the donkey show.
They're not ponies.
Well, I said earlier, I was like, I got shook down at Colexodus and saw people with dead eyes, and I was like, I want those dead eyes. And I wanted to see also, and honestly, as it comes back to the labor movement, right? We got to think about that in terms of Burning Man as well, right? Mm-hmm. What happened out here was a massive explosion of like FOMO, right?
Right.
It was like a beach party that became so cool it came out to the desert. And then now there's 80,000 people coming every year, and how do we do that ethically? That's what I was most interested in when I started coming working here. I'm going to be quite honest. I was like, I want to see what's actually happening here, and how does this actually fit into the larger picture? Are they paying their workers well? Are they treating their workers well? You know, that sort of thing. So that was part of the reason I came out, and my desire to look behind the curtain and see what really is, because we, hold these like 10 principles to be super, super important, right? And within the entirety of it, how are we doing with that? And I don't claim to be an expert on it, and I don't have any conclusions about this at this point, but I was just really interested in that, like, because it's like getting 80,000 people out to the desert takes a lot. You need people to take care of people, and we need to figure out how to do that. And yeah.
I'm interested to hear what you think at the end of your season.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I think there is a definite hierarchy out here, and that we don't necessarily do this as ethically as our ethos would practically command us to.
And that's true of all of humanity. And what I think is so interesting about Burning Man is that we can actually, it's an idea of like, let's take a look at the whole system from the outside. Mm-hmm. And let's, because when I got home, people were asking me, like, I spent like a month here earlier, and people were like, what do you think? I was like, they've got the same problems as any nonprofit and government at the same time. And it's just like, it's hard. We're all people, and we have a hard time organizing and figuring things out, and hierarchy and bureaucracy all come into play. And how do we behave ethically within that framework,
I've been working in nonprofits for over the past 20 years.
Yeah.
And Burning Man is a nonprofit. I think it's a legitimate nonprofit, and I think, like many legitimate nonprofits, it's very easy to exploit people because of how much your mission speaks to them.
Because your passion, right?
Yeah. We have thousands of volunteers.
Yeah.
There are the volunteers that help move things along at the event.
Absolutely.
But there are also the volunteers who do backbreaking labor for a week or more before and after the event, who, it's a very gray area between that being volunteerism and that being actual work.
Right, yeah, and that's the question, because, like, I come from the art world. I've been an actor like since I was 7 and done so many shows for free. And even now with like an acting degree, it's never been something I can rely on. I know, right? It was my fault entirely. But it's still like, it's never been my, you can't live off of it. And there's this balance, right? It's because like, it's cool that I get to do theater and I like doing it and I'm willing to not rely on it. But the other side of it is, at what point does like, passion and free labor kind of like, when does that get exploited? And when, because not everything can happen if you're going to pay everyone what they fucking need, right? Like if we were going to pay everyone a good wage to do theater, no one comes see it because every ticket would be $300, for like a small show. And
like you can't charge more than $20 a ticket, really.
Yeah,
and like $20 a ticket, you'll maybe break even from that.
No, you won't break even, and it's all based off of donors and all that shit.
Illegally, so we could break even.
Yeah, right. Like, yeah, exactly.
Like I've had terrible bosses. I am a boss now. I have had terrible directors and producers, and I don't produce anymore, but I used to. And like, dude, everyone needs a stipend. You can't have your actors seeing the text get money every night and not fucking pay them.
Right.
What we get, we
paid with
split
like
up at the
stage
end of
time.
the night.
You think I really like being on stage that much? Anyways, behind the curtain, I was just real interested in how that. Like, I was like, let's make the sausage. I'm no stranger to hard work. I like doing it, so.
I didn't realize that like the city was built or there was infrastructure or anything.
Right, no, because when you come as a participant, it's like, oh, this is all just everyone just brings what they want and then it's here. And it's like, no, there's people year round like making sure that we don't die. Like,
My first year, I was standing in line. I serendipitously ran into my high school friend, and I was sitting there talking to him at Artica at 9 o'clock station. I was like, what are you doing? He was like, well, this is my camp duty. I have to stand here every morning and get ice for my camp. Shit, I'll fucking hang out in line with you. Mm-hmm. And went through the whole process of him trying to get ice. Overheard another participant in line. It's like, it's so amazing that we just show up and, we build this city. And there's the only thing that's here before us are these flags in the ground. Like, did you not notice everything else that was out there?
No, man, I was having fun for 3 years. 4 years. I took a year off, and then I found out that there was a job at Burning Man, and I applied for that. And then I found out in the interview that it was a volunteer job, and then I got it anyway.
There you go.
Well, the problem is that the things that are out there that aren't flags are these containers, and these containers are painted just like the playa. So they go out there and they see flags, but they don't see the containers. Just completely camouflaged.
It's a whole nother program we've got going on.
Were there containers out there in 2005?
Painting the containers. Right?
No. That would have been like maybe the very beginning of the PC program.
Yeah, there'd have been a few, but only just a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I knew about Rangers. I knew that like there was a cadre of people who like helped folks out who were too high or needed help. Mm-hmm. And I was under the understanding that when you were done being a ranger and like could not deal with working with participants anymore, you became the chupacabra and hid out past the trash fence and like turned people back if they tried to go out into the dark. And that was my understanding of like event logistics.
I like that model. Maybe we could just simplify back to that. A chupacabra.
Who are you?
Hopefully you guys can hear me. Hey guys, what's happening? My name's Donald Rosenhammer, aka Don Ross.
Don Ross.
I do a lot of live painting.
By the way, that is way better than Dungalow.
You like, yeah. First it was Dungalow. You get so many names so fast.
I talked to a couple of people. Really awesome. They're like, "Who's that guy?"
God damn it! I've been coming to Burning Man since 1999. I ain't never got a playa name. You just rattling off all of your.
It happens all so fast. I think I got Dungalow when I was 2006. 2005, 2006. It was my third year in. My dad took me first year out of high school, 2004.
Oh, no shit.
Yep, I go every year with my pops.
Oh, that's cool as fuck.
Yeah, I've been going every year since 2004. I only missed 19. And then this last year, 22. I was up in Tahoe, South Lake Tahoe, represent.
You missed a hell of a shitty year.
Oh, come on.
I'm just going to put it out there for the authorities. He's been on the ranch all weekend and not...
He's not the tickler.
He's not the tickler of feet in Tahoe right now.
This is my jam right here. I love being on playa and actually work for the event and the org and everything. It's a lot different for me, and to see the other side of things, I've always been like kind of wanting to see how like behind the scenes work and to see how much we all get done with the little amount of people. It's crazy. I thought there was thousands of people that put this event on. No, it's like there is. You're right. But as far as what we're doing at the moment, it seems like we're just killing it with a tight crew. Everybody's awesome. It's really cool to see the other side of things.
So this is your first year plugging in with NVO?
Working, correct.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah. So after 14 years, this is my first year working. It's really amazing. I love everybody here. It's good vibes, and yeah, super psyched on how everybody take care of us, and yeah, it's super rad.
I like that a lot because I feel like for a lot of people, once you get into the volunteer working side of Burning Man, it's like your born again experience. You get this whole Burning Man back. And a lot of people come to it a lot earlier because they get jaded and burned out. I like that at 14 years in, and your entire adult life doing it.
Pretty much, yeah. If I would have went 1 year earlier, I heard it catches up to me. I hate math. But yeah, if I would have went 1 year earlier, it'd have been half of my life so far.
Fuck yeah.
It's pretty wild.
I love that after that long a spell of being a burner, you can plug in and find this whole thing behind the scenes.
It's really cool. Yeah, I'm really stoked to actually do this kind of stuff. Like, I have a camp of like 60 people or so that my dad and I created back in like 2004 or 5, and we were like the liaisons and doing everything in that camp. It got pretty intense. A lot of people. Like, it's like, all right. Like, we didn't really start the camp for that reason. We just wanted to like kind of have fun and enjoy ourselves. And my brother comes as well. We brought my aunt. I try to bring a new friend every year that I think would be in like awesome, about it, or like want to get involved or enjoy it. It's been really cool throughout the years. Yeah, super rad to kind of switch over, and not that I left my camp behind by any means. They're still going to be out there. I'll go see them.
What is the camp?
It's called Camp Burner Brown. We're at 645 and H. We've been there for about 10 plus years now. Luckily, we're not placed, but we just luckily get that corner spot.
Oh, shit.
It's so cool, yeah. So yeah, we've been there and yeah, just having fun throughout the years, and yeah, now like I was saying, it's super cool to try something new. Super rad, super thankful. Appreciate you guys.
I really noticed a kind of schism between me and my previous Burning Man group that I went out to the burn with as a participant. It's a little exhausting to go hang out with, like, I can hang out with my friends back in the Bay Area. That's fine. But when they come out here as participants, and I've been out here for like a week and a half or more before they showed up.
That's pretty cute.
They're just exhausting.
They show up, they're all clean
like
and chipper.
The fucking code switch. Like they're griping about things as if like sitting at Gate Road for 5 hours is hard. Like,
it is hard. I did it for funsie last year.
Oh, wow. Just to go read the fucking Burma shave signs?
Just to have the experience. I'm like, what's it like going through Gate Road? So I drove through by myself one morning on my way from my home in Gerlach. And I was like, oh, I get this.
I will cop to, I kind of miss the Burma shave signs. Also, fuck waiting in that line.
Yeah, so funny enough, this story expanded. I had a 2019 ticket that I had randomly found. And a 2019 staff credential. And got to Gate Road. And Gate, I love Gate. They're wonderful. They're just as good as DPW. I actually spend more time volunteering with Gate. I'm part of the Apex team. And some people on shift completely did not know me because it's the morning and when I'm not awake.
It's a big team.
Yeah, and I go through and I give them my 2019 ticket. They scan it, and it just goes bunk. They're like,
I paid $700 for that on eBay.
Does not compute. They're like, all right. I'm like, I have this ticket, a completely untorn ticket, very valid. They're like, all right, well, and I hold up like 2019 staff credential, and they're like, all right, and they're like, oh, that's something. Like, we recognize that, and they scan that. Same sad robot sound.
Oh, shit.
And at that point, poor Gate volunteer just like looks around, goes, shift lead. And the shift lead walks over and goes, Popeye, what the fuck are you doing? Stop.
I need to get into the event.
Stop giving these people a hard time.
I came all the way here.
Waited in line.
Yeah, there's a lot of those experiences, like sitting at Arctica waiting for a line for your camp, going through Gate Road. Like, I've never experienced as a participant, so when I find the opportunity to go out and do it, I do it with a half-hearted smile and a fucking joke that it's going to be fun for somebody.
Waiting in line is like one of the gnarliest things. So I grew up in Southern California initially before I moved to Tahoe. I was at my dad's house in Southern California. Everybody was packed up. We had a caravan, about 3 or 4 cars, I think 10 people altogether. Everything is packed, ready to go. Boom, hit the road like 4:35 in the morning. Takes us about 8 hours to get to Reno, and then 3 or so hours to get to the tarmac. And then once we hit the playa, it's another 8, right? Mm-hmm. So that day was really long. 3 hours into our trip from Southern California, my dumb ass goes, "Holy shit, guys, you're not gonna fucking believe it. I forgot my tickets next to my VCR." My dad, I was in the car with my pops, my pops' friend that he was with at the time, my buddy, and they go, "Are you fucking shitting me?" I said, "I'm so sorry, guys." Yeah, are you sure? I was like, "Yep, I can picture it in my head. It's right next to my VCR, DVD player, who the hell has this nowadays?" Yeah, it was right there, so drove all the way back. I run into the house, boom, right there in the envelope. Oh. I knew it. So my dad was pissed. Everybody was pissed. We all had to go, That turned a 12, 15-hour trip into over 24 hours.
Oh, yeah. Jesus Christ.
We were in line, and the sun started to come up, and we're like, damn, dude, we've been in the car 24 hours now. My dad was so mad. It's kind of funny to say my dad, because a lot of people are like, what, you go with your dad? Or at first, like, you go to Burning Man? I'm like, yeah. Uh-huh. And I go with my dad. They're like, what the hell? It's like, yeah, you should bring your parents. Like, it's really rad. It's for everybody, no matter what you're into, like, for damn sure.
I love that. I fucking love families that burn together. I've been trying to get my mom out there forever. Now she's probably too old. But it's like parents that bring their young children out there is fantastic to me, even though kids kind of squeak me out.
Last year I was lucky enough to have Camp Grandma watch my child while we were working on playa. My mom would bring our son out. We were on this rotation where we'd spend one night at home with my mom and the child, and then one night on playa, and then the third night my mom would bring the child out, and it was me and my partner's time out. Our Footloose Fancy Free night. And we had dinner with my mom, and a dust storm came in right after dinner was over. And Camp Grandma was like, I got to get out of here. How the hell do I get off playa in a dust storm? I was like, well, Mom, follow me. I will take you out. And she followed close behind me, 5 feet out into this dust storm. We got all the way out to Greeters and was able to get to point 1, or from Greeters we got to point 1 and got out to the 34. And to this day, she will not drive out on playa. She's like, I spent so much money to get my fucking car cleaned.
Fair.
Yeah.
If Burning Man wasn't the incredible thing that it is, if I didn't get all that fucking juice out of it, I wouldn't fucking go out to that desert. Fuck that place.
Yeah. I didn't clean my truck after playa last year, but by November, it was pretty clean.
Yeah.
You just track it off on your clothes into work. I do facilities anyway. They don't know why I'm dirty. They think I did some shit at the office.
So I was in an accident in March in my truck where there was too much black ice on the road, and I slid off and went into a cow field and hit a fence at a blistering 15 miles an hour. In the amount of playa that came flying out of the dashboard.
Oh my God.
In March, I was like, where does it all sit?
Is that the airbag?
In the creases.
Yeah, everywhere behind the dash.
I got to spend the post-playa months up until the end of the year handling leftover lost and found stuff. There was never an end to playa dust. Never. Everywhere.
Yeah, we were talking about earlier, like shitty BMTs. My BMT, or my trailer, which is now my personal trailer, has a 3/4 of an inch gap all the way around the door. And it was just like my normal morning routine. I would get out my broom and sweep out. My door was facing south, where the wind was coming and all the dust storms last year. Every morning I would just sweep out my trailer, and that was like my morning routine before I went to breakfast, DPW morning meeting, NVO staff meeting, team meeting, day begins.
We do this for fun. we feel privileged. We get paid to do this.
We choose this.
There's the water hitting the ground.
At some point, it was also probably someone's personal trailer, and we didn't want anyone to know that Cafe was a department that existed because we had low self-esteem, but we have higher self-esteem now.
You should. You guys deserve what you get.
We are Burning Man staff, no matter
whether it's good or bad. You deserve it.
No matter what comes of that structure.
They would tell us like not to call Heat for shit that we needed because Heat was mean. Heat are like the nicest teddy bears in giant mechs on Playa.
Oh yeah.
Like they get to do sci-fi shit all the time.
All the time. Their crane operations used to live here in town.
Mm-hmm.
And the burliest, tightest nipples, tightest shirt from Texas person you'll ever fucking meet. But then they'll look at you and just be like, so our wives are friends. I guess we should be friends. the literal introduction I had with them.
Going back to trailers and all, 13 years going to Burning Man. I was tenting it in a 2-man tent. I couldn't even stand up to put on my clothes. Oh, shit. I had to be out of my tent by like 9 o'clock in the morning. You know how hot it gets. So you guys ever tented that motherfucker?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. So that's how I've lived for the past like 13 or so years. This is like the first year I've ever been in some trailer. And the dust can't, like, you know, get in my tent. I can actually stand up to put on my underwear. You know how it is? You know, in a tent, you're, like, bending over like this. You're like, motherfucker. And they're, like, hitting your back. Like, I'm 6'1". Like, it's like, motherfucker. And you got to, like, sit down to put on your socks. And you're, like, sitting on your empty fucking air mattress that deflated overnight. You're like, fuck this goddamn
air mattress.
Hot as shit. You're like, I just want to go out the center of my camp and, like, lay in a chair. And, like, being in a trailer is so
much
rad.
better off with, like,
so stoked.
An army cot and a piece of foam.
I've never had an air mattress that stayed inflated overnight.
They don't. They're not
over
for
all
that.
the years I've been, never.
Air mattresses are so you can invite your family over to your house and have them leave in 2 days.
Oh, wow, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's what that shit
Get
is
the
for.
fuck out of my house.
Get the cheapest fold-out bed you can. Futons are too comfortable for family.
What I love is the air mattresses that are like mattress thick, and they have got the big pillars in them, and they're like, this thing never leaks. And then like 3 hours later, you can't breathe because it's completely tacoed over you.
Yeah, but it's like thick material this time and flocked.
I'm so glad and thankful for being able to work with everybody here and everything you guys are able to gift us and help us out with and get this shit together. This is super
Gifting
rad.
is just stealing from yourself.
That's okay, property is
Yeah, it's a
theft.
good reason to get rid of money, right?
So what's your guys' housing situation like over there in Center Camp?
I have a Kodiak tent. It is 16 years old. Last year, I used my power washer from the inside to spray all of the playa dust out.
Smart.
Which is when No.
Not
no,
smart.
No, There's
Not
there's a waterproof coating on there.
So just staying wet.
That I now need to spend $60 to spray back on. But I'll do it. It'll be fine. I can set it up twice this year. Oh, I could have used the air compressor, but
It totally
I
has
have
an
this
air
power
compressor.
washer. I don't use it that often.
Also a bunch of shop vacs. We had lots of options.
No, we only have one shop vac now. The other one went on the curb.
I still have that little like suitcase one.
Oh, that's been out in the rain for a while.
It's a shop vac.
Hey, your
we'll
wife
see.
goes, why'd you buy that air compressor? You never use it. Like, all right, I'll put
He's
it
not my wife.
Oh,
It's true.
didn't
He
say
just
anything on
won't put
gender.
a ring on it.
Would you? Can I? Would you? A little bit? Yes.
I
Just a little bit.
I don't enjoy doing this,
No.
even though I am a dispatcher.
You are a dispatcher. So talk to me for a second about what that is.
I have done Black Rock City dispatch, and I've done dispatch for a bunch of different events, like LIB, Dirty Bird. We do a bunch of stuff, but
So But for folks who don't know what dispatch is,
We're taking in calls, we're understanding what you need and what you want, and then we're giving you resources to help you with what you need.
so this is a fundamental part of the safety and structure of these events.
Not just the safety, but like the mental aspect.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So like if you're not a law enforcement issue, and you're not a medical issue, what are you? You're a mental issue. Right? And you can't compose yourself in a crowd. So like how do we deal with that? How do we get you to safety? How do we get to a safe space, So harm reduction.
Harm reduction.
Yeah.
So dispatch are folks on radios helping the folks on the field.
Participants and staff. And I feel like staff is actually more the problem. I don't want to call it the problem. But like we have staff issues more often early on.
That makes
you've been
sense.
Here for so long.
Yeah.
Right? You've been here for so long, you've had things happen. And so now you're having traumatic events.
Of course.
Before the actual participants come in and have their traumatic events.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so we have to deal with the staff first because they've been here since who knows how long for any event. And I'm not talking about Burning Man, I'm just any music event. The staff is very important.
Yeah. And they're wearing themselves ragged.
Yeah, we just work. We just work. They're like, oh, this is our job, this is our family. We're just gonna work.
Yeah. What other kind of events do you work?
Lightning in a bottle. I do music events. I just work the whole time. No, you just stay up because I have to walk people through active CPR. So if you're not going to be responsible, what are you going to do? You've got to be attuned and ready for any circumstance.
What is your health and safety training? Like you first aid, CPR, all that junk.
I've done like a woofer. I've done an EMT class. I've done a couple actual 911 shadows, which was absolutely terrifying.
Oh, I would imagine.
City of Reno and I-80, Kingsvale. That was crazy. I was like, wow, 911 dispatchers are a different level of constructive criticism. They take in a call, they take all the information, and they're just like, you're having this incredibly traumatic event. Oh, I'm just going to incredibly just remain completely neutral. And I am like that, and I think I could be like that, but with the staff, it's different. Because I know you, and you call in an issue, and it's kind of an emotional event.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like, honest to God, your job out there is so horrifying to me.
This year's different because I'm going to just deal with your housing.
Okay.
So if you have a medical event, I don't give a shit.
Fuck yeah.
We need to route you somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's
Good
fine.
job. How did you end up at Burning Man?
I had a couple friends at a ski resort I was working who also worked ski patrol, and they said, you dispatch really well. You used to dispatch for Black Rock City.
So straight up, dispatching as your
I
way
went into my
in.
first year of volunteer dispatching the city, and so we have the dispatch at Black Rock City is like Reno times 2. So we're dealing with
a huge city all of the time.
Because if you think about it, most cities don't deal with the mental aspect. They're not like, oh, you're not breaking the law, but you're also not a medical issue. You're a mental issue. There are very few cities that have the mental capacity or the social workers, psychologists to take you up and take care of you because you're not causing law
problem.
enforcement.
You don't need jail.
You just can't compose yourself in a social situation.
Wow. And you have to dispatch all of that. It's such a more complex problem.
Just for the event itself, a lot of people have, I decided to go off my meds for the week. I took a bunch of drugs.
I stopped taking my antidepressants because I wanted to get high.
Everybody does that.
So I'm just going to kill myself right now, I guess.
I'm going to run into the fire.
Jesus
Christ. Right? That's what Burning Man deals with, is a bunch of mental capacity issues.
That is so scary and wild.
So that's why the Rangers are actually really important. People hate on the Rangers, but
no, I don't. I think they're the best thing that has come out of Burning Man. I
actually work with the Rangers at other music events, outside of Burning Man.
Oh, yeah?
They're very, very, very valuable.
Yeah.
I call them, I'm like, oh my God.
Thank God someone who can de-escalate.
Who is de-escalation.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's why I like doing what I do. But I'm not going to do it anymore because I'd rather deal with the staff. If you have wants and needs, I would rather deal with that than the participants. We were talking earlier about like the things that make us mad about the participants. They don't make me like frustrated or like, oh my God, got to deal with these people, because we have a city of 90,000 people. We're gonna have problems, right?
Of course.
We can't blame them.
That's wild to expect no one to be an asshole or
all these
get
people,
hurt.
all these camps, like they're gonna have shit happen. It's
Yep.
fine. We got to deal with it. But I like the staff because the staff chooses to be there.
Yeah.
Right? We're choosing to be there for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months.
It's really quite ridiculous. Like,
it's fucking crazy.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong, the time is flying fucking by. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, I've already been here for like 6 weeks.
Dude.
But I mean, like, I can't even imagine what I'm gonna say come after the event. Like, I might never come back. Who knows? I'll be so.
I love the safety that I feel around people who do this. Like the staff, the fucking people who put more time and energy into it. It's like we come out here to the ranch and run into the folks that are like working it, and I am like, oh, these are all going to be people that I like and respect, that I value and think are thinking deeply about the world.
And
These
I
are
think that's why we all can like cohabitate really well.
That
We're actually
is
all
why we
really
live
working
together.
towards the same fucking goal.
Yeah.
I'm like,
The ranch
I don't know.
is chill this year.
I mean, that's what I've been told, and it's because of me. I'm just saying.
I came out last year, and I would say this year I felt much more welcomed.
It's because I was here.
Well, you welcomed us a bunch, but not just by you, but by like everyone.
A vain asshole. I'm sorry.
Well, you deserve it. Be a vain asshole.
Oh, okay.
You're fucking
You
killing
are
it.
a perfect
Yeah.
asshole.
Killing
nice and
it.
Nice and taut. But no, seriously, you deal with people very well.
I wouldn't call it dealing with people. I mean, like, I don't know if that's the right word. Cause
I don't know if dealing is the right word. That's what I came up with first. You manage people well.
You know what? Like, when somebody doesn't get along with me, I make it a fucking point. I'm like, I know I'm annoying, but you will love me. You will. You will love me. One day it will happen.
And that is, yeah.
Yeah, you were like, I don't want to talk to you about this anymore the first time we met.
No, and that is why you and I do well together, because we both feel that way. The staff is very important, though.
It's important. It's
That is
all
why
of
I
it.
want to stick
the
around.
The people are all of it. Like, for me personally, they're the
participants, they could really fuck right off. I mean, I know that is okay. I take that back, but
you're allowed to say. You don't have to fucking couch
no,
it.
y'all actually. If we could just have like a small 5,000 person event, I would love that. And Renegade was really, really, really good for that reason. But the staff means a lot more to me than the actual participants. But the fact that those people organize and pack and travel from wherever they are is fucking crazy.
The vast majority.
Dude, I don't know if I would do this if I wasn't so close. Like, I live in Truckee for a reason.
Yeah.
Worth it. But like, I mean,
dude, that is crazy that people like fly from other countries.
The participants that I'm like, I live in the Bay Area. I
track.
Fucking like, this is part of my life.
Thank you, Prospector.
Maybe I can find some gold later.
I don't know. For me, like, being able to be a part of like the infrastructure and like actually contribute in a way that I find meaningful is like kind of puts this whole thing in a full circle for me, because I went the first time when I was 16, and I have like
16.
Yeah. So I turned 32 in September. I have officially been going for half my life. Half of my life.
My mom was supposed to take me when I was 15. We had tickets and everything. She bought them through like Ticketmaster when they used to do Ticketmaster.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I moved out when I was really young.
So what, like 2006?
No. Like I graduated in 05 of high school.
Oh, so like 3 or 4.
Like 2 or 3, 1 or 2. My mom was like, "Hey, we have an extra house. Do you want to move into it in another state?" And I was like, "Sure." And my mom would check on me every few months, but she bought us Burning Man tickets. and I went off my rocker when I was living by myself, and she drug tested me, and it came up positive.
Obviously, you live by yourself.
So she sold our Burning Man tickets, and ever since then, I've been trying to get back, and I didn't get back until I was in my early 30s.
Oh, so this is only like your 5th year?
No, 7th.
7th year. Okay.
Yeah, I count the Renegades though.
Okay.
Because I did a shit ton of work.
You can count them. You
I was
don't
out
have
here
to.
for like 20 days.
Yeah, you can count them.
I was out here before the entire thing commenced.
Everyone told me not to come on DPW. Like,
Holy
don't go.
shit!
And
No,
I'm so
DPW
sad.
was mad about
So
the whole thing. They were like
sad.
mad that people could construct something alone by themselves.
I know, and that's where I was like,
They were
I
so
should've gone,
butthurt about
but
that.
whatever. I was in school.
No,
4.0
Renegade was
guys.
fucking amazing.
It's great.
Renegade was one of those things that came out of the Pando that was like, we can do this. We have our permits. It's BLM land. Why don't we do this for often enough? And that's why Juplaya has been fantastic the past 3 years.
Don't you think that like maybe has put like a divide in how burners think about the construction?
I do. I think it gave people a way to think about it constructively, like that they can do what they want.
All the hosts have fucked up.
You guys are interviewing each other.
Yes. D-Day says we're interviewing each other.
love you.
I love it.
I love you so much.
I love you so much.
Sometimes I want to cuddle with you at night. But not in that way, just because I love you.
I will snuggle the fuck out of you. Sorry, we're bromancing. Ah.
And that was a really long episode. I hope you've been super productive and been packing your shit to go to Burning Man while you've been listening to this. And if not, I don't want to make you feel bad, but you're wasting your life.
Big shout out to all of our new DPW/NVO friends. Thank you all. That was fucking fun.
Accuracy Third is produced by Accuracy Third.
The music in this episode
is by Coy Wolf.
Coy Wolf!
You can find them at coywolfsound.bandcamp.com. We are having a party on Playa. It's on Wednesday. It's on Wednesday, and it is in a location.
It's at Playa Home Companion.
At 6
And F.
and F.
6 and F.
Playa Home Companion.
Playa Home Companion.
Radio Nerds Unite.
Guys, you know, we throw this party, we quote unquote throw this party every year, and we invite people to it. Do we want to maybe say what this party is going to be like for people who come and what they can expect?
Oh, this party is like my wedding. Like, I don't remember anything about either of them. And that's why you shouldn't feel bad when I don't recognize you this year. I'm sorry. I love you and that thing you gave me. We had a very interesting conversation. This year, this is my waiver. If you leave a bottle of booze behind at the party, even if you told me that you are going to come and get it, if you are not there when we pack up and leave, that is our liquor now. I love you. Please bring liquor to our party. If you leave it, it's mine. That's how it works. I will not be biking back to anywhere ever again. Thank you very much.
Our party is mostly hang out, have some drinks, chat. We like meeting you. You guys tend to be the coolest burners we meet out there, even in all of our time out there. So it's overwhelming and lovely to get a chance to figure out who the listeners are and then ply them to come on the podcast.
And if you would like us to reach out to you after the event, either you reach out to us or make yourself a little business card. Put your contact information on it, give it to us at the party, and then chances are we'll have it when we leave the burn. Speaking of, guys, people have liked the clothes that I've made for Rex so much at the Burning Man office. I made little business cards so Rex can hand them out to people who appreciate the fashion clothings that I make, for the plywear and whatnot.
Yeah, if you're interested in D-Day designed plywear, this man knows how to grom it.
I do. And I have the DeviantArt page, and that is on the cards too. And I would give it to you right now, but I've just given all my cards away to Beth and Rex, and I don't actually know how you can find me on DeviantArt.
It's deviantart.com/ChicoDemon. CHICODEMON.
There you go.
I like this. I think moving towards, fabric arts and fashion is a fun step for you as a compulsive artist.
It's something I was already doing.
Yeah, no shit.
Before I read the William Gibson book, Pattern Recognition. But it is also something that, like, William Gibson wrote about, like, 10 or so years ago. Maybe longer. Oh, my God. It's 2023, like 19 years ago.
Sure enough, it's 2023.
You know how to get in touch with us. Goodbye.
Here's another thing to talk about is on Monday of the event, when we open up the burn gardens right after the temple burns, we have the burn gardens where people can donate lumber. And I go around and grade lumber, sort it, and bring it all back here to the ranch, and we incorporate it in future projects. So we, like, the lumber that people donate actually goes to building future infrastructure of Black Rock City, future infrastructure for NVO, and we also donate a lot of it to people in Gerlach so they can build and maintain their properties.
That's such a solid piece of information. That's a question that has come to me on so many occasions.
Yeah.
What can we do with this lumber?
Yeah, donate it to the burn gardens, and if it's a significant amount, a 4x4 or 2x4 here and there doesn't do us any good, but 40 2x4s or 40 4x4s, we absolutely take that and put it back into use. And it helps the people here in Gerlach, and it helps Burning Man continue to propagate what is already in existence. It takes 40 to 60 years for a tree to grow to a usable length. So if we can get as many uses out of it, that's totally in our ethos.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Like if someone wanted to get involved in doing some live art on the outside of Center Camp on those walls you're speaking of, how would they get involved in trying to sign up to do something?
Center Camp Art at burningman.org. But for sure, if you go to the Burning Man website, under the Participate tab, there is a link that'll take you to Center Camp Art, because Center Camp is one of the places that Burning Man provides to put art up. Everything else is done by the participants, but Center Camp is a little gallery.
It's up by the paint.
So, say, for instance, if I had a few paintings already finished, is there anywhere I'd be able to ask someone where I can hang them up?
In Center
absolutely.
Camp.
For real?
Yeah.
Okay.
They have galleries.
That's one of the things that Center Camp is great for, is
especially now,
for displaying little pieces of art that aren't really appropriate to put out on the open play.
Yeah, I do remember. Yeah, I just wasn't sure how to get involved in doing it. So, all right. So,
so many things, the Participate tab at Burning Man.
Yeah. I mean, really, that can be a little overwhelming.
I was a little hesitant before because I was so busy with the camp I was involved with, but now that I'm doing this with you guys, I got some time off when I'm not working, and I want to express myself at the burn. So.
You gotta be part of the artistic environment. And there's no bottom to this well. You can get so fucking involved.
That's the greatest thing.
That's what I'm kind of learning right now.
I find with Burning Man, the further that I dig in is the more that I've always offered to get involved. I come up with a great idea. I come up with what I think is a bullshit idea, and someone's like, "Oh no, that's wonderful. Let's keep going with that." And I'm like, "Well, gee, I just wish I, had the time and fully thought this out before I opened my mouth."